Yo, what's going on, YouTube? Going on? Facebook looks like it's actually down today. All right, let's get into it, man. Giants football talk coming off a victory. Let's get this link sent out here. Miz and Lou's supposed to be on. Hopefully everybody jump on. Everybody wants to talk about our Giants victory that we just had. Slade, what's going on, man? Not much to see here. Miz and everybody wanted to jump on real quick. And I hope you're feeling better, Ash.
Yeah. Yo.
And everybody wanted to jump on real quick. Miz, what's going on, Miz?
What's up, pal? What's going on? I wanted to do a stream today. Hold on, let me shut that off. Sorry. I got it.
I think I was gonna say, I think you got it playing in the background.
Yeah. What's going on? Man, watch the video just now. I'll be honest. That was a great video you put together right now with those highlights, the way you went deep in. That's good stuff right there. I'm not even capable of doing that type of stuff.
Yeah, I always seem to want to do that.
You know, that's good stuff. You gotta have patience to put the highlights together.
Yeah, this is the best Monday we've had in a long time.
Definitely. I'm gonna send this to a few people so they pop in. Chris, Jets fan. Adam. I know Adam been busy. He was in the hospital last night all night. He's having a baby.
Okay.
So
I didn't know that. Congratulations, man. Shoot. Gotta tell him congratulations next time I see him.
I'm sure he's gonna see us and pop on, but yeah. Yeah, still very high off of the win last night. I'm trying to be even keel because I want us to go get another. You know what I mean, Pat? I feel like we should definitely be 3-1. When you think about it, it bothers you. I know it bothers me. So
yeah,
there's no reason why we're not 3-1, and the whole fan base knows it.
Yeah, we should be 3-1. We're a couple of plays away from being 3-1. But last week was tremendous, man. It was very, very promising. Dan Jones looks like a franchise QB now. He's reading that pocket better. And Andrew Thomas, you gotta give a lot of shout out to Andrew Thomas because man, he's playing left tackle like crazy right now. He's one of the best left tackles in the league, rated so
far.
One
of the best in the league right now. Not even close to the other three he was drafted with. He's among the best in the league right now. Like he is totally reliable.
Like that right there is crazy, man. That he's turning it around dramatically. Maybe it was he did have a foot injury last year that could have been affecting him. I want us to go beat Dallas too, Ash. But that foot injury might have been something serious, man.
Yeah.
And that was affecting his play last year. But right now, I think Dan Jones is flourishing mainly because he doesn't have to worry about his blind side anymore. And he's able to have faith that Andrew Thomas is going to block for him. And now he can really see where Nate Solder is lacking. And he's not getting hit from his right and left. So he could dodge the right now and maneuver in that pocket and throw strikes now, man. And shout out for them to getting Kadarius Toney within the game plan. Kadarius Toney really showed out. He's been asking for the ball, and he showed why he should get the ball. He made some key catches. He made a key catch on the last drive to get us a field goal to take it into overtime. He made a key third down earlier in the game, and he just makes plays, man. He looks explosive when he catch the ball.
Yeah. I was very excited to watch Tony yesterday. Once I started realizing that they were going to put the balls in his hands a bunch of times, and some of the moves, man, that 3rd and 18. What he made some. His feet are so nimble, like the way we already knew that. I never said that. I never said that. Oh, I hate the guy. I didn't want to draft him. That's not what I said. People putting stuff in my mouth. There he is, Joel. What's up, Joel?
I didn't. I don't look at me. I didn't put nothing in nobody's mouth.
All I say was we needed something at a bigger place. We all know that, but I'm not saying that. And I'm happy that the way this turned out, that Slayton. I'm not happy Slayton got hurt, but it's like a blessing in disguise because now the coaches see what they have in Tony, which is amazing that these coaches didn't see that before, but we all know what he could do. Like sometimes I wonder with these coaches in the NFL, like, do they really belong there? Because you got fans at home that recognize and know like stuff so much better, so much quicker. Like it's weird. Yeah.
Well, like I said, the game though, Miz, I think a lot of that was Tony conditioning. I don't think the guy had COVID. He lost his grandmother. He missed a lot of preseason. He didn't get them reps early. When we had the scrimmages against Cleveland and against New England. I think that really affected him, and that's why they kept him out for a couple of weeks. Because there was a couple of plays I even looked at Pat. I said that kid's winded. He's tired. And the same thing would happen to Beckham too his first year because his legs would give out.
Yeah, he was pretty much gassed, man. He was gassed.
Yeah.
And he left it all on the field.
I'll tell you, if he had COVID, I went through it. And I'm a guy that works out. I work out 6-7 days a week, man. I'm in there like 2-3 hours a day. And running is like 45 minutes to an hour of my workout. And I went there while I wasn't feeling well when I had the symptoms. And I'm telling you, I fought through it, but I did not feel the same, man. I felt weak and I was only able to go half-assed. So I could see, and now we're talking about a pro athlete. So it's a whole nother level,
Right.
And he was winded on that after that play where he did about a 25-yard run. He was winded after that play, so that might have played a factor in him not getting in early in the other games. But I still think, man, what they did this week was exactly how you're gonna have to use this kid this season. You're gonna have to use him as a weapon. Quick screens, quick slants, run them deep a couple of times throughout the game. Show the defense that you're willing to throw the ball deep. And let him run some clear out routes. And if they don't guard him on that clear out route, you got him wide open on that play.
I was partial to the way they had Galladay and Tony lined up together on the same side of the field. I mean, one cleared out for the other.
Right.
That and then Ross was taking the top off the defense on the other side.
Even more, man. I mean, listen, man, they could do it. I'm sure as they go on, as the season goes on, they'll find more. There's more they could do with Tony. There's so much more you could do with this guy. You just got to design the plays.
I mean, that one screenplay on that 3rd and 18 was perfect.
Beautiful.
Like that play was screen perfect. He faked like he was going to do a quick out, turned it back into the middle of the field. They threw the screen to him. They had a couple of blocks out there, and he made some people miss. I'll tell you a play that people really don't recognize was at the end of the game when he picked up that first down. It was like a 2nd and 2, and he got the ball behind the line of scrimmage and made that linebacker miss and got the first down.
Right.
And kept the drive going. Those plays like that help. He brings plays like that. He can turn plays that usually if we throw it to a slate to somebody that may go for a -2 yards, he could turn it into a 3 or 4 yard game for us and keep us moving.
Yeah, but the biggest thing was the offense had that Saints defense on their heels the whole game. They never knew if we were going to run or pass, and that one screen play was just set up beautiful when Barkley got the first down. They weren't expecting that. They were coming up the middle.
I mean, the screen game should be included in our system automatically. I mean, even Evan Ingram, I'm quite sure you could catch a screen pass if you fake it to Saquon Barkley, have him stand in the middle of the field and catch a quick screen. Just hopefully he doesn't fumble it when he gets tackled,
I agree with that, but that depends. That's a lot of responsibility on the O line, and it looked like they finally gelled enough and understood the plays, and nobody was hollering, "What's the play?" So, I mean,
Right.
it's hard to run a screen if your offensive linemen can't get off their blocks or don't do their right blocking assignments. I mean, that play blows up.
Right.
Yeah. I seen. Listen, I seen plays in college, which I'd like to see them try to stick in there, where they use Tony out of the backfield on wheel routes, or even
Yeah.
like shovel pass once in a while if you need 1 yard.
Right.
It's like I've been saying. I said this a few times. You got to be creative, man. I know Garrett's old school, but if you put Barkley in the backfield on the right of Jones and you put Tony in the backfield on the left of Jones, you don't know who's getting the ball. You fake to the right, you pitch to the left, you fake to the left, you screen it to the right, you fake to both, and you hit Galladay down the field. You know what I mean, Pat? They got to get
Right.
creative. They have so many weapons. They could become unstoppable. And Ingram
Yeah.
got to start catching the damn ball, man.
Yeah, because even a third one, if we throw a wide receiver screen to Galladay, all he's got to do is lay down and he's got the first down. The guy can lay down, cover 5 yards.
Look, let me tell you something, Joe. There's no reason the Giants cannot start including plays that, if you watch what Jackson and the Ravens do, the Giants have the same type of plays. They could do this. Actually, the Giants have more.
But we need to mesh a little bit more on that. We need to get a little bit more playing time with these guys together so they get that continuity and can feed off of each other. Might be a little early for that, Miz, but yeah, I agree. If we can keep this line together and they block week 10, week 11, week 12, when it really starts counting, I think that's when we can start throwing plays like that into the offense. But we got to give these guys time.
We need time to grow together. You're right. Get to know each other.
Right. That is a big part of it. I mean, it's not like basketball where one guy can take over a game. We got 11 guys that have to all work together and they have to win their one-on-ones. And then you find the mismatch and you just beat that into the ground until they start defending it. And then you find the next one. Because when one closes, another door opens.
Exactly. I like the way they use John Ross in this game as well.
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
Like that deep comeback route with John Ross could get us first downs on every drive. You let that man run deep, and man, when I say he got speed to burn, that guy got speed to burn, man.
Yes.
He took off. Reek, what's going on, bro?
What's up, Reek?
What up?
Hey, Rick.
What up? What up?
But
when you
feel, overall, I don't know if me and Joe were watching the same game. Everybody's saying that the offensive line was just dynamite the whole game. That's not true.
It was a better second half. It was a better second half.
That offensive line was getting bullied pretty much the first 3 quarters. I'm not going to lie to you. That offensive line was getting bullied. Nate Solder was still looking like he can't block anybody. Matt Skura and Bill and Price were on their butts for most of the first half. They were getting absolutely mauled by the defensive line of the Saints.
Yes.
Yeah. I just want to know how do you think this offensive line is going to hold up against the Cowboys? Coach Dante, what's going on, bro?
I know Miz is going to be yelling because Micah Parsons is going to be making us feel him on Sunday.
Andrew Thomas is going to shut him down, Rick.
I think I'm a big. I already said it in my video earlier. I'm a big believer in when you win a few and you do for a loss, and when you lose a few and you do for a win. I look at those type of things in the NFL a lot. And let me tell you something. The cooking's right this week because Dallas is due for a loss. And they're really high and confident and cocky right now. And it'll be very easy for them to let their guard down. And the Giants have come in. We have a lot to prove. We're still hungry. Nobody thinks we're that good. We got lucky versus the Saints. That's what you're going to hear. And it's the perfect type of game for the Giants to steal. Now, the only thing I worry about, as I always do, is the damn refs. Because for some reason, we just don't have them on our side. But listen, I'm not going to blame the refs. You got to play the football game. So that's it.
Right.
Exactly.
One thing is Daniel Jones is man, I don't know. Daniel Jones has grown into a man. He ain't a kid no more. You could see it, and the league better start taking notice. This guy Jones has a big time arm. He's accurate. He stands tall in the pocket. The man, the biggest thing for me is when he threw that touchdown to Ross, whatever. Ross dropped it, whatever it is. It still, to me, was a touchdown for Jones.
No, they gave it to him. They gave it to him.
The way he pumped his fist like a man. If you watch Jones, the way he was pumping his fist, man, tell me Jones has arrived. Tell you, that was big for me.
Well, that's all right. I got in a fight on another stream with some Cowboys fan because I said Jones is better than Dak. And I said, well, you know what? I've been watching football for 40 years. I'm using my eyes. He says, well, if your feelings are overriding your eyes, then, I mean, that he goes, that I forget what. And I says, so what's causing me to think Jones is better than Dak? Is it my feelings or is it that you don't agree with me?
I mean, I won't say he's better than Dak right now. He could be down the road.
Trending up.
I believe he could be a way better thrower of the ball than what Dak is. As far as leadership wise, Dak is light years ahead of him right now. As far as leadership wise,
Oh yeah.
and I will say this: Dak has had an offensive line his whole career. He's had a running game pretty much his whole career. Daniel Jones hasn't had that. You see what he could do when he has a half decent offensive line. Imagine if he was able to stand in that pocket the way Dak Prescott is a lot of times. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Imagine if he had those weapons over there in Dallas and had the running game and had that offensive line that they have over there in Dallas, how much better he would actually be doing right now. Imagine that he had a coordinator like Kellen Moore that actually opens up the playbook. I mean, Jason Garrett did it for the Washington game and this game here, and he threw for almost 700 yards in those two games. You see what I'm saying? It should have been throwing over 700 yards. It should have had 6 touchdowns in those two games because he had 2 touchdowns taken away from him in the Washington game with the holding penalty and the drop ball by Slayton.
So Nate,
G Nation, what's going on? Tune in, bro.
What's up?
I like Mrs. point about due for a loss though, because if you look at Carolina going into the Dallas game, they didn't have CMC, they didn't have a corner. J.C. Horn got hurt, and they traded for C.J. Henderson, who new to the system, and they got rid of their tight end in the trade. So they weren't. I mean, and they were hyped up to be the number 1 defense, and they played the Jets and the Texans. So, I'm sure the Cowboys have false confidence because Carolina got exposed. It was a good win for Dallas, but Carolina got exposed.
I want to say something. And I think you guys are going to agree. Once again, man, and this is a problem, and we've spoke about this in the last few weeks, especially when Martinez got hurt, and all the receivers in the same game. Once again, it's proven to be true, man. Our field is a disaster, and the Giants, I think, are going to play better on the road than they are at home this year. And I think that field has a lot to do with the players and the legs that they have and the speed that we can have with our receivers. They just can't do it on that. The Giants got to do something to fix that field, man. I really believe it's starting to play a role.
Yeah, something's weird.
I mean,
on that field, a lot of players and teams around the league have complained about it, and we've seen its ugly head come up again 2 weeks ago when it bit 3 of our players in one day, and it's a problem. And then you go down to New Orleans, you see the Giants playing loose. Nobody's getting hurt. They're fast on that turf. You know what I mean? The Giants got to come up with a new plan for a field by next year. You got 2 teams in one stadium. You got to do something about it. Come on.
I really thought we were going to go back to natural grass when we actually moved to that stadium. But I guess they say it's too much money to keep up because
too much money.
To change it after every game.
We're in the most wealthy area in the country, Pat. We are in the most wealthy area in the country, and we got 2 NFL organizations. Their money is not an issue, man. It should not be an issue. And G Nation is right. Bad field. Someone get Mara up on the mic and tell them their field stinks here.
Yeah, the field is bad. There's a lot of injuries that's happened on that field, and definitely to our players. In practices, we lose a lot of players in practice.
Yeah, but not only that, if you watch the games at home, Pat, I've taken notice of this. Because I think was it last year when Bosa broke his knee on
Yep.
that field? Okay,
Yep.
and it was
Week two.
4 other players that got hurt. And 2 years ago, we lost 4 receivers in one game. Remember Marshall and a couple others, Shepard, all in
Yeah,
one game.
we lost Shepard, Marshall, Odell Beckham, and it was somebody else too. I think it was
Yeah.
I can't think of his name right now, but we lost him too.
And the league investigated our field. They said it was okay, but yeah, it is one of the worst fields in the league. And the thing is, another thing, you watch our players play on our field. Wait till they come home in 2 weeks, okay? Watch the game and see how many times our players on offense, they slip every time they try to make a cut. Barkley slips all the time. That tells you something.
And I don't believe they had the same confidence when they play at home. Like seriously, like they play way better on the road. Dwayne Harris, there it was, Dwayne Harris. That's who we lost. We lost Harris, Odell Beckham, Marshall, and Shepard in one game.
Yeah. We lost a season in one game.
That
You know what I mean? It's not cool, man. It's not a good thing. And you are the New York Football Giants, man. Just go back to the old grass, man. It was good. It was an advantage. It really was for us. They do things at home to take away their home advantage. They didn't want to know why they're not dominant at home.
Well, yeah, that's just it. I mean, if weed's legal in New York and they know how to grow that shit, I'm sure they could put some ultraviolet lights over that field every night and grow that grass.
Right.
Yeah, they could do it, man. They got plenty of the money. It's all nonsense.
What do you guys think of Judge managing the clock using the timeouts yesterday? I thought it was. I wasn't.
It was a lot better. It was a lot better. It was way better than what it usually is, because usually we're at the end of the game with no timeouts.
Mm-hmm.
We actually had. We had 2. I believe we had 2 timeouts going into that final drive to go down and get the field goal to tie the game. He had way better clock management, and I believe they were way better prepared as far as getting plays in on defense and offense, because we use a lot of timeouts on defense because the defense doesn't know what to do half the time. Mm-hmm. And that didn't happen in this game. I say in that fourth quarter, that defense stepped up and played like the defense of last year. They stepped up. Taysom Hill wasn't playing like Captain America or Superman on those last 2 drives. We actually tackled them in the backfield and stopped them on the 3rd and 2. And so those smiles and laughs that they had, they turned into they were a little bit worried going into overtime. And then when we got the ball, the offense said, "Okay, we ready to go home." They didn't allow the Saints to come back on the field. That's what I'm proud of. That fourth quarter and overtime, that was some of the man. I ain't seen football from the Giants like that in a long time.
Yeah,
that was excellent. That was team ball. Got them off the field twice. We put 2 scores together, got it to overtime, and then said, "Hey, let's get it." Took it down the field and scored a touchdown. I'm actually glad to see that he actually put Kenny Galladay in the slot. Like let him use that big body against a slot cornerback, and that slot cornerback didn't know what was going on, and it wound up being a busted coverage. And you hit Galladay down to the 6-yard line, and then the rest is history. Is a handoff to Saquon, who's playing like Saquon. He played like Saquon in that game. Hopefully, he carries that into the Dallas game. He was making cuts. He was spinning. You saw the speed. You saw the burst. And you saw the strength that he ran on that goal line run. That was strength that got him that touchdown. So hopefully he turns the corner and realizes who he is and continues to build upon this past game. Over 100 yards of offense total and 2 touchdowns. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to use Saquon Barkley like that through the rest of the season. Because first, it allows him not to take so many hits as far as just trying to run him 20 sometimes. Yeah, let him run the ball about 15 times and get him about 10 catches. He deserves about 20 touches a game. Real talk. He can handle that. Let him catch screens and run it out of bounds after he gets about 15 yards. Now you see our offense, we can pick up stuff like that too on 2nd and 14, 2nd and 15. We can do that too. You let us get about 10, 12 yards on 2nd and 14 and wind up being 3rd and 2. I mean, that's it. That's reap, G Nation, reap. But I mean, we showed that our offense can play with the best of them. If we open up that playbook and that offensive line is half decent, our offense could play with the best of them because we have too many weapons. Who you going? How many people you going? How many good DBs you gonna have on that field to guard all those people? And if Evan Ingram was half decent, it'd be even worse. It'd be even worse if he turns out to be half decent. It would be absolutely dynamite because he's a mismatch in himself. You can't put a linebacker on Evan Ingram and hope he can stay with him. You can't put a slower safety on him and see if he can stay with him. Evan Ingram guards himself. He guards himself by dropping those passes like that. He really does. Throughout the game, he made like 2 or 3 diving catches, and then drops the easiest pass of the game in the middle of the field. That's what he does. Some of those catches he made, he's like, ain't no damn way he should have caught that ball. Remember, he made 2 good catches on the drive to get the field goal.
That's how you get hurt, diving like an idiot like that too.
Right. Like, I don't understand him. If he has any trade value, me as a GM, I'll trade him right now. If he has any value. But the thing is, does he have any value? That's
you taking him for a 4th round pick?
If I'm a GM,
I'm gonna wait. Let him have a decent game, a big game.
4th round pick and a backup all lineman.
You gotta get him a game.
We got too many backup O linemen on this roster already. That doesn't make any sense.
Ain't nobody giving you a lineman anyway. You're getting a pick and that's it. 1 pick.
3rd round pick.
Well, you gotta let him have. You gotta let him have a game. If you don't have a big relevant game, then you ain't getting a 3rd round pick. You gotta let him.
The only way you'll get a 3rd round pick if it's somebody like the Ravens who got Super Bowl aspirations and they feel he can be a weapon for them. Somebody like the 49ers, somebody like the Rams, or somebody like Kansas City.
I'd see Seattle getting him.
Yeah, somebody like Seattle may give you a 4th or a 5th round pick for him.
Yeah. Green Bay wanted him last year, so Green Bay.
And I think that train is gone because the emergence of the other tight end.
Yeah, that's true.
Tunyon, he's good.
You're probably going to have to wait until week 7 or 8 when injuries start affecting, and then a playoff team or team contending for a playoff is going to need a tight end or want him.
And you know,
you got to get a game out of him first, man. You got to get him a 2-touchdown game and get his name up there, you know?
I don't know how to get that, though.
I was just going to say, Rick took the words right out of my mouth. You really expect Ingram to have a game?
Yeah.
You know, man, there's been games.
The poor kid, I feel sorry for him.
We've seen him catch a post catch and take it down the sideline for 60, 70. We've seen that, you know?
One time, but
against the Bengals.
His rookie year, he was dynamic. Just
the problem
that's where all the hope came from.
Last year, he made a big time catch in the back of the Washington end zone. That tippy toe off his fingers touchdown catch. You know that most people wouldn't have caught.
Well, if he wasn't getting 100+ opportunities a year, I'd say, okay, you know what? He needs, because then you got that, 60 opportunities a year isn't. But the whole offense was basically revolved around him last year. You can look at the Eagles game. I mean, boom. And then we look at all the other games, and it's like, well, we can say 6 turnovers were off of Ingram. And so it's not like he's not getting chances and opportunities to go out there and execute and show that the kid's got talent. I'm not saying that. But it's just it's the wrong time. It's everything that was, complaining about Jones. And now that, Ingram's not getting the ball, Jones doesn't have turnovers.
No, I agree with you. I'm not saying keep him. We have to keep him. I'm saying definitely trade him. I know we got to build towards next year also more so. But the thing is also,
20 points.
If you want to get a win next week, let's say we go get a win in Dallas. We walk out of there with a win. Now we're starting to think that we can make a run this year. We could be relevant. You're not going to just get rid of him because who's going to play tight end? Let me tell you, Rudolph is not Ingram. He's a blocker. He can't move that well anymore.
I believe Caden Smith can be just as good.
I like Caden
Smith.
Just as good.
He doesn't drop the ball.
Just as good as a physical tight end. They're probably good, maybe better. But as a weapon downfield, neither of them is close to him.
I think we have to get our receivers a chance too. We have burners, man. I need to see what Tony has.
Ross, man.
Yeah, we have guys down there who can make big plays. We don't need another big play guy.
I mean, this is a big one right here. He is on the trading block. He
Oh,
wants out of
please let that
Arizona.
happen.
Do that in 2
Please.
seconds.
But you're gonna have to give up probably a
They said
second
like
or
a
first
third
round
round.
pick with those guys.
Yeah.
You get Chandler Jones.
We
I
could
would
do
love
that.
Chandler
Chandler
Jones
Jones.
is about what 32, 33 now.
That
I
sounds
think
about
he's
right.
like 30. He's 30 something.
But I'll tell you what, if
31.
we did have a Chandler Jones, it'll make our defense that much better.
Yep.
Him
It
and
would make our
Aziz, that'll be
defense a heck
nasty.
of a lot better.
Yeah, but
I
the
tell you
price
that
tag.
now.
Oof.
Yeah, the price tag is high.
Hey, I'm worried. Speaking of edge rushers, we didn't have a sack yesterday, and they were missing their left tackle. So how are we going to sack Dallas? We need to get to the
That's the
quarterback.
point. That's the point. If we don't get pressure on Dallas, oh man, it's gonna be hard for that defense to get off the field.
We can't.
They have
count
too
on
many
Dak
weapons.
throwing reception like Taysom Hill yesterday.
The first thing we have to do is stop Zeke.
Champ, what's good? Go ahead.
You got to
Nate.
stop the run. The key to this
Yes,
game this
that's
week is
what
the run game.
That's what I was gonna say. We have to stop Zeke first, Zeke and Pollard
Both
first.
of
Then
them.
we have to worry
Both of
about
them.
the
Yeah.
pass.
You're not gonna
Like
listen.
I
You're
said.
not gonna stop them. But if we could contain them or hold them
Contain.
to around 100, you know.
Yeah.
What we can stop the run all day, but if you don't get any pressure on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, and Dak is throwing accurate balls, they're gonna pick those up, man. They got too many weapons, bro. Both those tight ends are good. You got CeeDee Lamb working the slot. You got Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup out there.
I'm not worried about CeeDee Lamb. He'll find a way to
No,
drop it.
I'm CeeDee Lamb's good.
CeeDee Lamb never
CeeDee
comes
Lamb
in a
will
big
eat us
moment.
up across the middle of the field.
But
Guaranteed.
the
Who's
slot
our
Our
guard?
secondary got to play better. It got to play like it did
Yes.
last year, man. It better find itself real fast this week.
Yeah.
We're not
Because
going to win a
it's not gonna
shootout,
be-
but we are going to have to score at least 27 again if we want to try to win the game. Maybe
Yep.
30.
We're gonna have to score at least 24 to 27 points, like Miz said, and we're gonna have to hope that our defense could get off the field on 3rd downs, because I believe we could get Dallas in 3rd downs if they run the ball the way they've been trying to run it. Hopefully, our defense stands stout, and we can get them off the field on 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 6s, 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 10s. Hopefully, we can get them off the field like that, and put the ball in our offense hands, and the offense go down and score some points and make them boys worried.
Yeah.
Make them one-dimensional. If you make the Cowboys one-dimensional, that's when they get in trouble. You put some points up on the Cowboys early, go up by 14-3, 14-0, and then you start making Dak become a drop-back quarterback the whole time, that's when they get in trouble. When they don't include Zeke and Pollard, that's when they tend to get in trouble. That's when they start to turn over the ball.
Our safeties have to be there too, man. I need to see McKinney do much better in the back end. Him and
Yeah,
Ryan
what's up
do
with
better in the
McKinney,
back
man?
end.
He's got to step up.
Last year, right? We went to Dallas, right? We didn't see much out of the Giants. We were like the same type of position going into the Saints this week, right? And then the coaching staff dialed up a whole bunch of stuff that we didn't see all year, and we seen some of that yesterday. And I have a feeling that the Giants have been keeping some stuff close to the vest, and they're going to open up some stuff on defense we haven't seen, like blitzing packages. And the Giants got to go get 1 or 2 turnovers, cause a fumble deep in Dallas's zone, turn the ball over, let us have a 20, 30-yard field to score, stuff like that. And if we can get a special teams play and a big turnover deep in their zone that leads to a 7, we could come out with the game. I'm telling you, maybe a deep pass interference flag, the same way Dallas got in order to beat us last year in their home. We did some things in that Cowboy game we didn't see all last year, and I'm expecting to see some of that coming up this Sunday.
I think Trevon Diggs is in for a day because Kenny Golladay is a big man.
Oh.
DJ Moore is great, but he's not a big man. You know what I mean? I don't think if you're throwing the ball up, Kenny Galladay's coming down with it, not Trevon Diggs. So
I think Galladay will be his biggest challenge this year, but I'm not going to take anything from him. That kid's having one damn good year so far. He has 5 picks in 4 games. You got to be doing something right.
Like you
gotta
guys
be doing
said,
something right.
like
he's
you guys
gambling.
said,
He's gambling and winning, but just know that he's gambling.
Yeah.
He's been gambling a lot. So if you put a fake pump and go on him, you might catch him deep.
I say throw Ross on him because I believe they're arrogant enough to keep him 1-on-1. I say throw Ross on him and just throw it deep one time on him.
Make a run.
See if he can keep up.
I get it. We're excited. We won a game, but I'm still in the back of my mind. I mean, this team's still got to improve, and they better play better than they did this week because they've done it consecutively for the last 4 weeks. We saw improvement each week. I want to see more improvement next weekend, but we have to stop the run game. But as far as we need to do this, we need to do that. In my eyes, right now, I want. All right, we had 3 penalties. I want less than 3 penalties. We didn't have we had a run game, but we didn't. I want better run game. I like the aggressive play calling. Stay with the aggressive play calling, but dial it down if you have to. We kept that Saints defense on the heels. There's no reason why we can't do it against Dallas, but we played 3 crappy friggin' games the first 3 weeks. And that's sticking in my memory. I'm not forgiving this team. I'm celebrating the win, but we need to win for me to continue, moving forward attitude wise and as a YouTuber, because that first 3 weeks, that ain't going to fly. And if we revert back to that,
I'm going to tell you now, this team has a whole bunch they have to improve on. First of all, we have to be more disciplined. We can't have drop passes like we do every week. Ingram and Tony dropped first downs on third down passes. They did it. We had a missed field goal. That's something that we usually count on, but we had a missed field goal last week. We got into the red zone 3 times, 1 out of 3. We got to make that better. We got to start scoring touchdowns instead of letting defenses have confidence getting us off the field with field goals.
I think Dallas is sacrifice when you put Micah on the edge, that exposes their biggest weakness already, and that's their linebackers. I think
if they put Micah on the edge against Andrew Thomas, I'm fine.
But I'm saying
it's that if they put him over Soder is when I'm going to get scared.
Yeah, if you have Van Der Esch or Jalen Smith out there in the middle, I think Kadarius Toney can do some damage because those guys are slow. Those guys are quick.
I'd rather see Barkley on a wheel route, to tell you the truth.
Right.
But I'm saying back the middle.
They could start finding Barkley a couple of draws and screens over the middle. If Parsons is going to be blitzing off the edge, you're going to have to hit these little 3-4 yard passes over the middle and let him do things with his legs. Him and Tony. Same thing with Tony.
Yeah. But that's Dallas's biggest weakness, I think. Because I think their secondary is playing well and their front's good, but those linebackers, I mean, Jalen Smith and Van Der Esch. I mean, Jalen Smith is one of the most overpaid people in the league. So,
yeah, I believe he's cut after this year. Either him or Van Der Esch is gone.
I think
Dallas has a real good team, man. They have a really good football team this year. Their defense is not trash anymore. It's actually average to good. And we all know what their offense could do. But the thing is, I'm telling you, they might be getting a little bit too high on themselves, and that's when the letdown comes. I'm telling you.
Miz, they're winning despite Mike McCarthy with some bad coaching, bad calls too. You saw some of the games. Mike McCarthy doesn't challenge. He's taking timeouts at a bad time. So
we'll see how Dallas is when they start playing against some of these really good teams.
Yeah.
With a good defense.
They should have lost to the Chargers. The Chargers beat themselves.
Oh man,
in that game.
The refs gave.
I mean, but you could also say that they should have beaten Tampa week 1. You could say that.
I mean, hey,
they were right there.
They let Tom Brady.
Man, we gotta go play the game.
20-some seconds.
Hey, I think we could go in there and upset them. You know that.
I think we can too.
I wonder if Sterling.
It's going to be the same thing with the Saints. We didn't allow the Saints to go crazy in that first half. They only put up a touchdown at the very end of the half.
Right.
If we could do the same thing with the Cowboys, and our offense stays on all the cylinders, we could build a 14-3 lead and shock them and be like, oh crap, they came here to play and shock them and make them one-dimensional, because that's what the Cowboys do. If you shut them down and you build a lead on them, they're going to give it to Dak Prescott and say, hey, take us to the promised land. And I don't think Dak Prescott's that type of quarterback.
Nope.
He's a quarterback that's good when he has the lead, or you're not that far down and you can incorporate that run game with him. But him just stepping back, killing you all game, just throwing the ball, I don't think he's that type of quarterback. At least not yet. At least not yet. And I think we could get there. I think we got a heck of a chance if we can make them one dimensional.
I'm not
Zion, what's
holding.
good, bro?
What's Gucci? What's Gucci? Not really feeling so good today, but I just heard you guys talking. I was laying down on my bed and I wanted to call in. Rick brought up a good point. Like, as much as I wanna root for this team because I am rooting for this team, but the Saints were out like a left guard, I believe, a right guard, and their center last week.
Oh, their center too.
And and we still
And
wasn't
left
able to
tackle,
pull off.
and we weren't able to
Yeah,
get
the
no
left
pressure.
tackle. We wasn't able to pull off a sack, so it's gonna come down to like our front defense if we can get pressure. Because if we don't get pressure, Dak's gonna pick us apart. With the weapons that he has, I know Giants fans don't want to hear us, but this is a real scary game for us. No matter what, we have the momentum coming in, but I can see Dak, going off against this defense if we come out and showing the kind of defense that we showed over the first couple of weeks. But you guys do have a point. If we play strong and we play good defense and we get to our tackles, there's a chance that we can sneak a victory out of this one.
That is true. I want to ask the panel, man, what do you think is our main problem why we can't get pressure? What's our main problem? Is it scheme?
I
Is it
will
players?
die on this pedestal. We are not running stunts. We are not running twists. We are not, doing a delayed blitz. If we blitz, we're bringing 7 and getting burned. Everybody else is getting pressured by twists and stunts. And, I showed you how that one guy on the stream, Pat, he started outside, the inside tackle. He cut in front of him and he swooped around behind him, and there was nobody there. He had a straight shot to the quarterback. We don't see the Giants doing that.
What I did like is
go ahead, Zion. I'm gonna get into it. Go ahead.
That one play where like Dexter Lawrence knew that he couldn't get there, so he kind of stayed by the guy to make the tackle. I really did like that about Dexter. But if we're not gonna pressure Cowboys, I don't see a victory in this game. I don't want to be like all emo and stuff, but it's true. I mean, like Dak's gonna pick us apart if he can't get pressure.
I agree.
I'm gonna say this. I don't believe we utilize our tools correctly. The reason why I say this, like Joe said, and I'm glad you're gonna stand your ground with that because it's true. We don't run stunts, we don't run delayed blitzes, we don't run any type of scheme. When we blitz, the quarterback sees it coming a mile away. So what I say is we don't use our people correctly, not by a long shot. And the reason why I say that is you see that Lorenzo Carter is not a good edge rusher. Let's just call it what it is. He's not a good edge rusher.
I hate watching him.
But what he does have is he has long arms and he's very fast. He's a fast guy. Why not blitz him from the middle? Let's run some double gap blitzes with Carter and Tate Crowder. Let Carter come from that middle and work against a center who has to snap the ball, and let him work on getting that snap count and just bull rushing in there and getting past a guard. He can get past the guard. I've seen him do it. He can get past the guard blitzing from the middle. Why are we continuing to send blitzes from a certain side when we send a DB blitz and they see it coming from a mile away? You don't think an NFL quarterback can hot route that receiver knowing that DB is coming off of him super fast? If we're going to do that, why don't we just drop back one of our edge rushers into that zone and send Peppers right there? You see what I'm saying?
Well, that's a perfect example, Pat. Here's another play. You line up Carter at right edge. So he's going to be up against the left tackle. You bring Peppers off the edge on a blitz off the right side, and you loop Carter all the way around because Dak's going to want to escape to his right. Carter's already starting to truck that way, and he's going to loop up and around and meet Dak the minute he comes out of the pocket. Hello, sayonara, 12-yard loss.
And then with Williams' strength, he can take two people, and that left tackle has to stay out there with Peppers, and so he's going to have to quickly move out to get to Peppers, and you let Williams take over that guard, and the center is going to try to help him. You have Lorenzo Carter loop around and go right through the middle.
We don't see
I don't
that.
know why we don't do that. I don't know why we don't do that. You put the pressure on the lineman. You make the lineman make decisions. We're making it too easy for the offensive lineman. They don't have to think. All they know is they just got to go up there and block their man, and that's it. They don't have to pass off anybody and go back into a certain spot to get a player. They don't have to do that. We're just straightforward, and that's what's killing us. We don't have a straightforward defensive edge pass rushers. We don't. The closest thing we have is Aziz, and he's a rookie. He has to learn. Props to him having 3 sacks on the season, but let's be real. He's not a number 1 pass rusher yet. We don't really know what we have with Aziz Ojulari yet. We know we got a tough kid. We know we got a kid that's going to give you effort, but he hasn't learned moves yet. He hasn't learned the nuance of the pass rush yet. Let's be real. He's not no Von Miller or Khalil Mack or anybody like that yet. He's just a guy out there that's going off pure effort. And he's getting there sometimes just off pure effort. But put Ojulari on a stunt. That big, strong guy coming back, flipping over towards the middle where the center has to block somebody, and then he sees this big guy coming towards him. A bull rush with Aziz right there. Hey, look, we might get pressure up the middle, and you might have to roll out, and then you get hit by Peppers because he's coming from the outside. You never know. But we're too straightforward, man, and it was making it too easy on these linemen. At Dallas, the Cowboys line will eat us alive if we go straight forward the whole game. I'm just gonna be real with you.
No, we're not gonna. They're gonna dial up some stuff this week on defense.
I hope you're right, Miz.
I think
Carolina.
We're gonna dial up some type of blitzes. They're gonna mix it up. You'll see, man.
I hope so.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too high on Dallas, but after that Carolina game, I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well,
this is a good football team, and like you can call it what it is. I mean, like some of it got lucky, but at the end of the day, Diggs does have 5 interceptions on the season.
Well, let's fair notice. First time in the chat I've ever seen you. If you're not a subscriber already, hit that subscribe button for me already. He says Ellerson Smith is a blue chip. We got one there. I hope so. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, I want to discuss Zion's point because I've been sitting here all day watching NFL Live and NFL Network, and of course they're showing the Cowboys highlights, okay?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about that Carolina game. Sam Darnold was Sam Darnold with the Jets yesterday. All right, I'm watching him throw behind the receiver so that the ball could get intercepted. I saw him nervous standing in the pocket. This is just the highlights. I have not watched.
I don't know
why.
I don't know how you can sit there and watch them because I tried to watch them this morning, Joe. They don't want to give the Giants any credit.
Oh, of course not, dude. I've been dealing with this media for 40 plus years. Okay, you know what? I just tell them to go pound salt.
Yeah, they said I was watching the end of Red Zone the other day. They said the game of the day was Cowboys versus Panthers. I'm like, did you guys not watch the Saints game?
Right. But you know, I'm sitting here.
It was better than that game.
Daniel Jones is a hell of a lot more accurate than
5 for 5 in overtime.
No, it's better off this way, man. It's better off.
Yeah,
let them sleep on us, man. Let them sleep on us for another 2 weeks. Trust us, it's better off.
Sleeping this year.
You wait till the media starts talking about this game. We're gonna get. I bet you everybody on the panel. There's a star.
You don't want to go to Dallas and they're hyping up the Giants. You want them to be quiet. We don't exist. We go in there and we bite them like a snake in the damn grass, man. That's how we're going to do it. Then when you beat Dallas, then you're going to start. People are going to start taking notice.
Miz, how do we win this football game?
Yeah, I'll tell you one. The only way we're winning this game, we got to go to Dallas and we got to punch them in the goddamn mouth, like Joe Judge says. And when I say punch them in the mouth, I'm not giving you a speech on the stage. We got to go there and play physical. Beat them up, fly to the ball, tackle guys with 3 tacklers, be very, very physical and rough with this team. Even if you get a couple of flags, it's okay. Let them know that they're in for a backyard brawl today. And that's the way you're going to beat them.
We have to get them in second and long.
Yeah, that defense last year, Pat. So how much changed?
We don't have those type players this year, Miz.
Is that not the game we played against Seattle last year?
We had Dalvin Tomlinson last year. We had a whole better attitude last year.
I know. Well, that's the key guy, honestly. The key guy is Tomlinson. Because if you have Tomlinson on this team, you could use Leo as the pass rusher on the other side that we're talking about that we don't have.
I've been watching the Cowboys. I've been watching the Cowboys this year. Okay, if you get them in second and long where they only get 1 or 2 yards on their carry, that's their bread and butter. You watched the game they played yesterday. They were doing what we got handed to us yesterday. The damn running back could get 7, 8, 9 yards and get down into second and short. You get them in 2nd and 9, or if they get a penalty and it's one in the running game only gets 6 yards and it's still second, you know that scenario, 2nd and real long. Dak will throw a 5-yard pass, and then they get that 3rd and 4. And then they'll come back to the same play, same pattern to get the first down, or Dak will throw an incompletion if you can pressure him. So if we get them in 2nd and long, we're going to have to cover the short routes because that's what they do. They do not have Dak hang on to the ball. He is dinking and dunking.
I'm worrying about it being like a 2nd and 3, a 2nd and 4 every single second
You got to
down.
rough these
Yeah,
receivers
you're
up
not
with the
gonna
line of
stop him
scrimmage.
at
You're going to have
all
to go
if you
back
do
to
that.
some old school football. I think you
Like-
got to go
like-
man
like
to
the
man at
point-
the line of
like-
scrimmage.
7 yards on us easily.
Like the point I was trying to make to Miz earlier. Miz, I know you've watched every game. Do you see any traits from this defense that you saw last year when it comes to toughness?
So far,
When it comes
not.
to toughness,
No, so far, not.
our DBs were tackling hard.
I'm gonna be
Our
even honest with you,
linebackers were
Pat.
tackling
1
hard.
second, and one real fast. I'm gonna be even honest with you. I don't even like what I see out of Logan Ryan. It looked to me like he got a little
Listen.
softer himself.
Like I
Last
told
year,
him,
Last year, Logan Ryan was a true leader, was flying all over the place. Logan Ryan's giving you hints there, like that pass that he broke up on that drive where we stopped him on 4th and 3, where he broke that pass to the running back. That was a damn good play. But he's not hitting as hard as he was. Bradbury's not even hitting as hard as he was. Even though Bradbury is having a half decent year now, he has 2 picks on the year. Or Dory Jackson damn sure ain't showing any toughness when it comes to tackling.
well,
McKinney's flying around, but he's just flying around right now. I think he's still trying to find his niche right now.
We had
You're seeing
15
effort.
lost tackles, man.
Yeah, you're seeing effort from McKinney on every.
but you're
play.
not seeing heart.
You know what the biggest letdown is. The guy that you expect to run around and intimidate people and knock people out, Peppers, is not really doing that this year.
I don't know.
And he got hurt.
He's lost a little bit of that flavor since I guess he got benched in the beginning of the season when he only had like 30% of the snaps.
Right.
And he hasn't had that same attitude since then. I
On
believe
that-
he's gotten his own head.
On that coin toss, man, he was doing some crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
because the team started showing heart. They actually tackled Taysom Hill. Like I've never seen a Giants defense do that. What Taysom Hill did to us on that 1 run touchdown,
Oh
I've
my
never
God.
seen a defense do that. That was
Like
hideous.
Brandon Jacobs or something.
Yeah, they made it seem like Taysom
I
Hill is
agree with
like
Blue City.
250 pounds and lifts 800. Like I didn't understand that at all.
Hey, thank you, Zion, for putting our links down there.
Thank you, Zion.
But it's early. The defense could get going little by little. It's early still.
They got a game plan.
Well,
they can't just go out there.
Here's the thing, Miz. I mean, 4 weeks we've been hoping the defense would show up. In 4 weeks, they really haven't. I mean, they did in the 4th quarter, but that was almost too little, too late. Almost.
They weren't
I
bad
get it.
against Atlanta, man. They just gave up that one drive at the wrong time, obviously.
Right.
You know.
I mean, I thought that they were coming out firing too because the Saints went 3 and out, and I'm thinking to Pat, oh, you know what? We might have a game here. This might be a defensive battle. Pat took himself out of the stream.
No, he'll be back. He was having trouble with it earlier today, so he'll be back.
Oh yeah, StreamYard's having issues.
Yeah.
And so is Instagram and Facebook.
Like Pat said, we don't have an outside pass rush consistently, and when we lost Tomlinson, that took away Leo from being a free pass rusher.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
So
Facts on that.
someone's gonna have to emerge as the year goes on, or else
Danny Shelton.
Graham's gonna have to become a real good blitz schemer. Sort of
Well,
like he did last year.
Well, who the hell's our outside linebackers coach? Don't we? We got an inside linebacker and an outside linebacker, isn't it, Coach K?
Joe,
I'm gonna go.
We don't really have that good of
You guys are
linebackers.
killing it. I just wanted to come and drop you guys links and stuff like that. Say what's up. So show face for a little bit. Didn't really show my face, but that being said, I'm gonna go lie down. I don't really feel no good, but I'll be keeping in touch. I'll be watching, guys. You guys are killing it.
Man, hope you feel better, Zion.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. I just took some COVID tests. I'm in the neg, so that's good. So
I
it's probably
think-
just a cold, if anything.
Yeah, Blue City. I saw the whole Giants sidelines run over there to where when Daniel Jones
That
got
was
hit in overtime, it
You
out of
already know what
bounds.
it is.
Judge
guys
wasn't the
hear
only
me?
one running over there.
Yes,
There were
sir.
some players that were.
Man,
That's
Yeah.
where we missed Nick Gates because Nick Gates would have put that guy right on his arse.
that's another
Yeah,
thing.
that was the biggest
Oh,
loss
yeah,
of the year, man. Nick Gates, because now that the O-line's starting to show some signs, it would have been nice to have Nick Gates.
Yeah, it would have been
Yes.
real nice to have Nick Gates. Hit Squad, what's going on, bro?
Hey, what's
Nick
going
Gates
on,
would've
y'all
let him
boys?
know.
How y'all doing?
All
Feeling
right.
good
I
on a
ain't heard from
Monday,
you in a minute,
finally.
man.
Yeah,
Right.
Hey, man, I'm feeling great, man. I am feeling. Let me tell you something, man. I actually before I say that, I wanted to ask y'all real quick. Did this win feel better than Seattle, or would you say Seattle felt better than this one?
Seattle.
Seattle
good
felt
question.
better.
I liked this one because DJ actually did the whole game and he was a
Yeah.
baller.
Great point.
Yeah, that's a great point. I feel I can't make a decision just yet because for me personally, like I really enjoyed this game. It was nice to see not only Daniel Jones get a career high in passing, but just to see the offense take the step forward that not only that we needed it to take, but that we thought that this offense should have been like from day one. You know, and it's nice. I mean, it's taken Jason Garrett 19 games to figure out how to use DJ. So, but
Too many.
nah, it's I'm very happy, man. Very happy. I honestly I kind of thought because I was watching the game, I thought the Saints they started playing cocky a little bit toward in the second half. Like that they thought they was gonna run away with this game. They were already up 11 points. They started playing cocky in my eyes, but yeah, I know that they were also out a bunch of players too. Someone mentioned that earlier. They really were, but at the same time, they still had Cameron Jordan. They still had Marshawn Lattimore. I honestly I like Jameis Winston. I didn't think he played that bad of a game. I liked him when he was in Tampa too. I just thought that he had some things he had to fix. But I thought this was a great team win, 100%.
Well, the thing with New Orleans, you got to remember, is they had Drew Brees there. I mean, they were used to winning 10, 11, 12 games a year. They were always in the division hunt, ready to go to the NFC Championship game. They were always included in that talk. And all those players are from that team. So when they take a loss like this, they really don't know how to do it. And they were in a scrap, and you can see that it affected the players on there. They're like, wow, we might lose. So they started playing a little differently.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's just for me, like just seeing Saquon, finally get a house call. That was really nice to see. I know that that team had to have enjoyed that, seeing how far he's come. And I know a lot
Yes.
of people were saying that he didn't look the same, which let's be honest, he really didn't. But this game, I thought this was the game that Saquon got his legs under him a little bit. And hopefully, us going into Dallas. I think that could be a game that could be had, but we're gonna have to really be on our P's and Q's to have a chance in that game.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If we play the way we played that fourth quarter for the rest of the season, it's gonna be very hard to beat us. Because we have an offense that if Garrett continues to let Daniel Jones run this offense, we have an offense that's very hard to stop. You're going to have to guard us all over the field the whole game. And the only thing that will stop us is if our offensive line just takes a crap and lets somebody just blitz Daniel Jones the whole game. But if they protect Daniel Jones, how many defenses in the league you think can really stop us or just stone us if Daniel
Five.
Jones has protections?
Not many.
100%.
To add on to that, Pat, I mean, I've watched the Giants a long time, and this is the first time I ever seen the potential of having a high-flying offense.
Right. The closest thing we had was when Eli had Plexico.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you might say Victor Cruz and
Because and the reason I say
Knicks
that
and
is, I
Manningham.
mean, that was one play to John Ross, and that was one play to Barkley. Bing, bing. That was
Bing, bing.
14 points right there.
Yep.
We've never had that.
Giants have never been a team that gets back. I mean, 250 to 60 yard plus plays in a game to score touchdowns. We've never been
Right.
an offense like that. But when you brought these weapons here, do you think we'll be able to do it with the weapons that we have?
That's
With
why I
a
bought
John
in.
Ross, with a Kadarius Tony, even Evan Ingram, he could take it to the house if you let him, if he catches it.
He did it against the Bucks. We saw that.
Right. You got Galladay. I thought he would be our ultimate possession receiver, giving us those 13 to 14-yard dig routes, those good comeback routes.
When I said there in all preseason and I said 12-5, baby, I expected the Giants to come out the way they did yesterday, week 1. That was the team I expected because of the additions, because of everything we did in the offseason, because of the drafts. I figured that Andrew Thomas was going to solidify. I was hoping that Tony was going to be ready by week 1. Galladay, I was hoping, because these guys were getting together in the offseason. The secondary was working out in Tampa Bay. Logan Ryan made phone calls. These guys were putting in the work. And then to lay that egg week 1.
Wasn't egg.
Ran into a buzzsaw. We weren't ready coaching wise. We weren't ready players wise. I mean, you just ran into a buzzsaw, man.
Right. All 4 phases stunk.
And what I really liked personally was in the fourth quarter where Daniel Jones hit Kenny Galladay on a slant. And Kenny Galladay took a big hit. And he just bounced right off that and took that right up the field.
Well, that when Galladay took that down to the 6-yard line, if you look at that replay, John Ross took the top off that defense.
He did.
Right.
Yep, he did.
And that's what opened up that hole.
I will say this. There was a miscommunication in the Saints secondary, but that's what happens when you have a good offense. Mm-hmm. People start having miscommunications against you. They thinking that you get ready to do something, you do something else.
Yep.
And you get people wide open. Corner. And that's why you use John Ross, you use Kadarius Toney. Let them take the top off the defense a couple of times. They were worried about John Ross. That whole last drive, they were worried about John Ross. When he did those 2 hitches, they came back and caught that 15-yard comeback. That's because that DB was worried about getting burnt again.
But that's because John Ross has a really good skilled route tree. He knew what route. He knew how to position himself, even though he wasn't getting the ball, how to pull that guy out of position. And that goes back to that Kurt Warner video that come out when he showed the Giants receivers. It's the small things like that. And once you start winning, those small things are easier to work on because you're not as nervous about losing a game. You're not waiting for something bad to happen. You win a game or 2, and then that just starts taking over. And then you get yourself hyped, the coaches hyped, the fan base hyped.
This week coming up, do you want to see John Ross with more snaps on the outside as the number 2 on some plays?
More than Slayton.
You know what?
More than Slayton.
Would you rather him take over Slayton's role and run more receiver sets?
100%.
I'm not gonna lie. I'd like to see what's his name there. Johnson.
Colin Johnson's a dog.
I would like to see Johnson and Galladay on the outside, and then I'd like to see Tony and Shepard on the inside.
That would be nice.
Ooh, let me tell you about Ross, man.
Right there.
Ross has a major chip on his shoulder. We need something like that.
Does.
Right.
Yeah.
Ross
and then throw
Ross is fighting for his career right now.
But then you can use Ross to, give Shepard a rest or Tony a rest. Because now
when Shepard's ready, he comes back to play. Slayton.
Well, I'm just tired of Slayton. I can't just bench Ross and not put him on the field when Shepard gets back. You know why?
Right.
Because he opens up that defense. He might not have 1,000 yards, but he opens up that defense for you every time he gets on the field. You have to worry about him going deep with that 4.22 speed.
But I would like to see more motion.
Yeah,
we
don't run motion at all. We don't run motion at all. Let's say we could put Ross in motion and let him go back across the field on a deep post, something like that. That's going to take 2 defenders with you. And say if he gets mashed up on a linebacker because you put him in motion, it's a wrap.
Because, let's say you go out there and you got Galladay and you got Johnson on the outside, and then you got like Ross on the inside, and then you got Kadarius Toney at the halfback position with Barkley to the other side.
Okay. So
Oh
you
my
want to do it
goodness.
like that?
You know,
So you
and then
want
it's
to
like,
run like a double back set and have Tony in the slot,
yeah, because you
Colin
can pitch it to him.
Johnson, Galladay.
You
Okay.
can throw a screen. The amount of play calls with those guys out there right there. And then you've got interchangeable because Shepard and Tony and Ross all complement each other. And it doesn't matter who you got there on the field because they're all fast as hell and catch the ball. And then you got your twin towers on the outside.
I'll
Also,
say this: I
stop
want to see
running that
Colin
end
Johnson
around,
more in the
man.
red zone. I want to
Stop
see
running
Colin
that end
Johnson more
around
in
with
the red
Ingram.
zone.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. What you say, man?
I say stop running that end around with Ingram. It's not working enough. And if you have to run an end around,
Should we just phase out Evan Ingram completely?
Yes.
no,
Honestly,
you don't gotta
yeah.
phase out. You can throw in a little 10-yard throw over the middle when you need to, or a post now and then. But stop giving him the end around, especially inside the 10. What is that doing?
Yes.
And look, I want to say this real quick, and maybe
Yeah,
we
go
can
ahead,
all
boss.
agree. I don't think even if Slayton was healthy going into that game, that pass to John Ross, if that was Slayton, I can't imagine Slayton catching that. I'm gonna just keep it 100%.
Me either.
I don't know. Yeah.
I can't imagine them. Nah. You know
He
why that play
he
worked?
might have not
Because
even
Ross,
gotten open deep like that. He would have gotten open on both of them.
Ross is just 4.22 speed, man. That was pure
Yeah.
speed on that play.
Mhm.
I'm just be honest with you. And Slayton's fast, but he's not Ross fast.
Oh
So
hell
no.
And you're just
Always Ross
you're a touch faster when you're in a dome. You ever notice
Yep.
that? You're even
Yep.
faster.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, if you got Tony in the halfbacks, if you put him in motion, that's going to tell you what the defense is doing. And you could
Yeah.
leave Tony back there and put Barkley in motion.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been saying that.
Where's the ball going? Who's getting it? Do we blitz or do we not blitz? What's going on with this? That's
The
what
RPO
the
would be
defense. Yeah. Then you got the RPO with Tony.
yeah.
That's what I'm
RPO
saying. If you
would
want
be
to keep
nasty.
crossing out of your backfield now, you put Tony in the backfield half the plays.
Well, at least a quarter. All right, because now you're confusing the defense. You can't do it too much because teams will pick up on it.
Right.
But you do it 5 plays a game. And then you change it up the following week. So instead of him running an RPO, you might do just a quick slant to Ross coming off the edge, leaving Tony back there.
And
You
keeping
get
Tony in that backfield, it does show what the defense is in. If they're in the zone, you're going to see if they're in the zone. You're going to see if they're in man. And if they're in man and they have a linebacker on Tony, it's a wrap. You can throw a quick pass, and he's going to get past that linebacker quick.
Absolutely.
And this is what we've been hollering at about Garrett is, do this type of stuff because it's confusing. And then on the defensive side of the ball, do the same thing. Confuse the offensive line so it's not easy.
No, Garrett's going to have a good game plan this week. I think that yesterday opened up Garrett's eyes to a bunch of things. I'm telling you.
And if that was all Garrett, you got to give him props for last week. Because he really had that playbook open. I think we run into trouble, man, when we try to put Evan Ingram into this offense, because when we put Evan Ingram in there, everything's for Evan Ingram.
Yes.
And people know that.
Yes.
And people know that. When Evan Ingram is in the game, you see that he gets the most targets every time he's in the game. They don't use him as a decoy. The one time they used him as a decoy, guess what? Saquon Barkley went for 54 yards.
Touchdown, baby. Woo.
Because Lattimore, people pick up on that. When Lattimore looked at Evan Ingram go to that quick out, he thought Daniel Jones was going to throw that quick out immediately like he normally does.
Yep.
And Daniel Jones looked at him and then looked back at Saquon Barkley and then went for a touchdown. That's what Marshawn Lattimore was doing on that play. I was wondering what he was doing, but he saw Evan Ingram right there. And usually when that guy's in the game, we try to give it to him every time.
Lattimore was sitting back there looking for the ball to come off his hands for a quick pick six.
Yep.
And man, it's how elusive Tony is, man. It's just nasty. How he converted
Tyreek Hill, bro. That's Tyreek Hill like.
Honestly, I don't want to like. I'm not gonna go that far. Yeah, it was Tyreek Hill, like, because how he converted that 3rd and 18. He was just juking people. There was one where he made like 6 defenders miss, almost.
I said on draft day when he got drafted, I was on the live stream. I said, and he got drafted, and I started clapping, and my guy
What do you
Max
have to
in
say,
here in
Blue
the
City?
chat can testify to it. I started clapping and hooting and hollering, and they're like, "Joel, you like this guy?" I says, "Oh yeah." I says, "You guys wanted another Odell Beckham?" I said, "This kid could be better than Odell Beckham." And they looked at me like I was funny and smoking crack. I said, watch his highlights. He's got to learn.
He's crazy.
He's still got to develop. I says, but he
if he
is
gets a route
2.0.
tree,
Nah,
yeah.
you don't gotta learn, man. You don't gotta learn. Garrett has to learn, okay? This guy don't
Well,
have to
no,
learn,
he's
man.
got to learn his skill
This is a
tree.
street player, Joe. I played football. This is a street player. You
Miz,
throw
we
the
will
ball in his
argue about
hands.
this
I'm
until I
telling you
wind up
right
in the
now, man.
ground.
Forget
You
that NFL
have
talk.
to
He put the
learn
ball in his
a
hands
route.
and he makes 6 people
You
miss. You
have
understand?
to. If you
Eh.
just run out there backyard ball, you're gonna get cooked.
Yeah, that's why Tyreek Hill developed a route tree.
No, there's
Right.
sometimes you can play some backyard ball sometimes. When you have a kid like that, sometimes.
He's a
I
good
mean,
man.
yeah. I mean, if you want to be a player like a Darren Sproles for your career, yeah. If he wants to develop into an actual dependable receiver where he can get that big contract, he's gonna have to develop some type of route tree.
He will.
But he does. But he runs the slant very well.
Yes.
Oh,
He runs
could
the
take it
slant
to the
very
house.
well.
He's a good
Take
man.
it to the
What we
house.
need him to do is get it to where his route tree to where he can run comebacks very well, and he can
Back
run
shoulder.
digs very well, and back shoulder.
I'd like
If
to
you
see
could get
double
those
moves,
routes
too.
down pat, because you can run a streak all day, you can run a post all day, you can run a option route all day. But if he gets that comeback route added to his repertoire to where he can make it look like he's ready to go and take the top off and then hurry up and come back without losing motion, that kid's gonna be dangerous, man. Then he can turn into a number one receiver if you want him to be your number one receiver. But his slant routes are crisp already.
I
I
mean,
love
it's-
those. I
That's
love
a
his
great
option
word,
routes.
Chris.
Yep.
Chris.
And I mean, him and John Ross alone, they open the field, man. Like
Right.
the threat of just because I honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I knew that Kadarius Toney had some speed to him, but I didn't see it like that. You know where I mean? Like his ability to get out of like his routes and break in, you know, it was electric. You know, like how quick he's able to really just break off of not only tackles but just out of his routes. Like
And-
He
that
got
kid's
like
that's-
he got like 3 first downs yesterday off quick slants.
and
and
we're
When's
not
the
even
last time we seen a quick slant almost go to the house?
I can't
no,
remember.
Odell. I'm gonna be honest
Yeah.
with you. It gotta be
Odell.
Odell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And all I'm
It-
gonna say is, I don't mean to cut you off, Joe. All
No,
I'm
you're
gonna
fine.
say is, just man, obviously we can't go back and change anything, but like if we go back and he actually catches those passes that he dropped, we're talking a whole different ballpark here to where
Yep.
Tony has an even better game and Daniel Jones
Yep.
throws for easily, I would say 420, if not maybe 430.
Wow.
That one slant that he dropped, he was dead tired.
He was gassed.
He was
looked
gassed
really
right there.
But-
if he wasn't gassed and he
Yeah.
catches that ball, he might
He's
take
gone.
that one home.
But
He was
here's
gone,
the thing,
yeah.
because of what you guys are talking about, Kadarius Toney's going to start drawing double coverage just because of how dangerous he is. And that's when his route tree is really going to open up the field for Shepard, for Galladay, and it's going to pull them linebackers back. And then the wheel route's going to be even more dangerous for Barkley.
Yup.
But this is all stuff that we're looking forward to. It's going to take 4 or 5 weeks before we start seeing this type of stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
We'll get there.
Right.
It's
Well,
gonna
we
be
will
nice
get
when,
there. We're
when
going to
Tony
take our
gets his
bumps and
first
bruises
touchdown.
and lose, but
Yep, when Tony
Gonna
gets
have
his
to
first
eat,
touchdown, man.
It's gonna
Yep.
be a
He's gonna
celebration.
get it.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm very excited for when Kenny Galladay gets his first touchdown.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
I'm excited
another
for
thing. When Kenny Galladay gets that first touchdown, I believe you're going to see him even more vicious. Kenny Galladay. I think he needs to feel some success on this Giants team. I believe he needs to feel
Personal
that end
success?
zone. Yeah,
You don't have
personal
the,
success.
you don't have the breakaway speed, or he would have broke away on that play yesterday to the end
Yeah.
zone. You know?
That's not his game, though. Everybody know that's his
Yeah, I know.
only big guy that we know that can break away like that is Randy Moss and T.O. at times.
Tomorrow
look,
But
Terry.
I didn't expect
Oh.
him to get a touchdown.
Calvin
be-
Johnson, but that's a different
I
story.
remember back in the days, Plaxico had some breakaway touchdowns.
And that's
Yeah,
what I
he
was going to
did.
mention, because that play where Kenny Galladay took that hit, bounced off, and ran off. The first play that came to my head was when Eli hit Hakeem Nicks in Green Bay, and he bounced off of that and just almost he took it to the house.
Right.
That was the last time I've seen at least a wide receiver, not a tight end, but a wide receiver on the New York Giants do something like that.
Yeah, because that Galladay play with less than a minute to go when he broke away and he got us down there to the 35-yard line, that was a big play.
Oh,
Right, it was.
That was huge.
I believe him and Tony could be a dynamic duo.
Oh,
I truly believe so. I believe Kenny Galladay can eat you up on the outside. If we incorporate that back shoulder throw, that will make a whole lot of pressure off that offensive line as well because we're getting it out so quick. And he has a big body to where he can catch it, regardless if the DB is there or not. I believe Kadarius Toney in that middle of that field scares teams. And you're going to start seeing them running more zone, and you're going to start seeing more comeback routes with John Ross on the outside. I believe we have scary people at each position on that field. That's the crazy part about it. That's why we were so frustrated. Kenny Galladay could be scary as a position receiver for you, go over the top on you. And even though he doesn't have breakaway speed, he still has good enough speed to get you about 40 yards. Kadarius Toney, just a scary athlete, period. He could turn a slant or a screen or anything to the house. Sterling Shepard, scary route runner. Ross, scary speed.
Yeah.
If Evan Ingram could get his head out of his butt, that's a scary tight end.
Yes.
It really is.
I think it's too
and
far up.
I think that's why they keep them.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Just imagine, Pat, because we will, I know we're talking about next year. We will add to this O-line a big piece in the first round next year. We all know that. Hopefully it's from Alabama.
We better.
But when we stack this line and Barkley can actually run through big holes, imagine what the defense is going to be. How are you going to stop the passing game when we're able to run the ball at you?
You'll never be able to.
You know what next year's O-line could be dynamite.
Well,
God willing, Gates is healthy. God willing, next year, if he's able to continue his career, I'm praying for him. If he can come back strong. Isaiah Wilson.
I was just about to say.
I was just going to say, go there.
Isaiah Wilson, if he could get his head together, let's give him a year on the practice squad. Let him get himself back together. It seems like the kid's ready to play football. He's apologetic. He said everything that he's needed to say. Let's get him in the weight room. Let's get that weight off of him. And he comes back next year even stronger. Well, and then we draft somebody like a Neal because I do believe the Bears are going to have a top 5 pick.
If you draft a kid from Alabama,
we get that kid from Alabama. So think of that offensive line. Evan Neal at right tackle. You can put Gates at right guard. We get a traditional center. We put Wilson at left guard and Thomas at left tackle. That offensive line could be absolutely dominating.
Sakura could win that. Sakura could win that. I mean, he did look pretty good in the second half. He did step it up.
Talking about the left guard position or the center position?
Left guard.
I mean, Sakura did. He looked better than Breederson.
Yes, he did.
He did.
Hold up, Pat. If we get an Evan Neal, we have to have a bad record because a lot of.
I'm talking about the Bears. I'm talking about the Bears pick. Remember, we got the Bears pick.
Evan Neal going number 1. Because there's no QB class.
That Thibodeau kid's going number 1. And somebody's going to take a quarterback.
Season. He hasn't played a full game.
It don't matter. That talent is undeniable. I don't care if he doesn't play a game for the rest of this season. That talent is undeniable.
Neal's going to be a top 3 pick.
I want
to be a top 3 pick.
I know we had a win this week and you want it to be different, but we are still heading for a bad record until we win another couple of games. And if you look at the teams that are coming at us,
next 2 games.
Listen,
we got big time teams coming. So
our whole season could spin right around with a win Sunday. It really could.
Well, like I said, go 1-1 the next 2. Go 1-1.
Yep,
that's
I
right.
Agree.
Because I believe we could beat the Panthers, and we could still somehow beat the Raiders as well.
Because
we mess around and beat the Cowboys, we'll be like 4-5 before we play like the Buccaneers.
Right.
And it'd be 4-6. And then you got the Chargers is beatable, the Dolphins are beatable, the Bears are beatable,
the Bucs.
The Eagles.
Let's call it a split there. Miami Chargers. Let's call it a split.
You know, we can't beat Tampa Bay. They didn't look that good against New England.
Well, listen. if you
sure
could
didn't.
steal one of those
But-
two big time games, of course.
Tampa-
If you could steal the Tampa game, of course.
Right.
But if you
Think
don't,
about
you got to beat the Eagles twice. You got to beat Washington and the Bears at the end of the. You got to win those last 4 games of the season. We already went over
Right.
this.
think about
Yeah,
think
we
about
have
this.
to win at least 4 division games, which would give us 5 victories. We got to beat it. The Chargers and the Dolphins. One of them we have to beat. That would be 6 wins. We got to beat the Bears, and I believe we got to beat the Panthers and the Raiders. I don't think we
Which
can
is
beat the
doable,
Rams
totally.
right now. I don't think we can beat the Rams right now, but they are beatable. The Cardinals just proved that, and they beat them
Right.
down. They
Yeah.
beat them down.
Yep.
If we can,
Wow.
if we can shore up that offensive line to block Aaron Donald, we got a good chance. Because I mean, Jalen Ramsey can only lock down one side of the field, and I was still testing with Galladay on the back shoulder throw.
Oh man.
I'll tell you a problem with the Rams, though. I feel they're gonna lose Thursday night to Seattle just because of the way that division is. It has to stay
It's
bunched
a
up, I
weird
believe.
division. Yep.
And then they got 10 days off to rest for us, Pat. I don't like that.
Hey, if they lose to Seattle, that means they lost twice in a row, and they're very beatable. They're not unstoppable like everybody said in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Just like I told everybody about the Saints when they spanked the Packers 35-3. I said, man, this team is not what you think they are. You stop Alvin Kamara from getting that pass game going, you can beat them. You can beat them. You make their quarterbacks beat you with their arm, you can beat them. When we stopped Taysom Hill going nuts, they couldn't score anymore. They couldn't score.
Think
This
about
Dallas-
Tampa Bay though. Their secondary was all banged up, and the check down king Mac Jones was carving them up.
Right.
And that's a good point right there. That's a good point right there, Rick, because if we can play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with their secondary banged up like that, with Richard Sherman off the street is the best cornerback,
Hey,
I believe our offense could have a damn good
They
day
got
against them.
problems.
last year they only won by 2
We
points.
don't play them, bro. We don't play them for another 5-6 weeks. So, it's not like we're playing them in a week or
Most
two.
of those injuries are season ending. They're season ending.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
Right.
one of the corners he couldn't even get
Yeah,
up
Davis
off the
got
field.
Gronk.
pulled off with the cart last
Gronk's
night.
going to be out for 8 weeks. I mean, he's got a broken rib, cracked
Yeah, he
rib,
won't, he
and a
won't, he won't
punctured
be out
lung.
for 8 weeks. No, he won't. He will not be
Nah,
out for 8 weeks. You
Gronk,
watch.
Gronk be back in about 3-4 weeks.
Gronk will play with
There ain't
broken
no way
ribs
he's
in
coming
2
back
weeks.
with a broken rib.
Why not? He's played with broken ribs his whole career. Why
No.
Even if he does,
Yeah, you know what? He's not
Bro, you're talking
25
about
years
a
old
beast,
anymore
man.
either.
You'll talk.
You know,
Yeah, heard
I
that
don't
2
do
years
stuff
ago
when I
he
pull a
came back to the league.
hamstring.
Oh, he's not the same no more. I know.
I can't even vacuum the floor if I pull a hamstring. Back in
Yo,
the day, it
that
didn't matter.
That guy is a freak, bro. That guy is an animal. He don't care.
That guy's an
All,
animal, man.
look, all I'm gonna say is, if this team, it's a little off topic, but I want to go back to Dallas real quick. If this team can air the ball out the way that we did against the Saints, who I believe have a better defense than the Dallas Cowboys does,
I agree with that.
I think their secondary could be had. I like I like Trayvon Diggs. He has 5 interceptions for a reason. Like, I like Trayvon Diggs, but okay, let's say he's shadowing Galladay. I really don't see a corner on that Dallas secondary that's going to be able to stop Tony or stop John Ross, and who I would hope that Sterling Shepard doesn't play, only because hamstring injuries, man, they are very tricky to come back from, and I don't want to see him out longer.
Right.
He needs to be, but if Saquon could get going as well, man, I mean, it could be had. But it's really, for me, what I'm worried about is the defense a little bit.
I believe their
offense.
other cornerbacks are very suspect. And
Who
I'm
is that?
just being honest with you.
Joseph. I
Yep.
mean, what the heck?
Yeah, Joseph's the other corner, and their slot corner is terrible. Their safeties are not that great.
And
They
honestly,
really do great coverage underneath with Smith and Jabril Cox.
they're not going to
and
have
that-
D-Law either.
And that Casey dude, Kazee, that came from Atlanta. They
I'm not
really
worried.
use those guys a lot in coverage, and I believe Tony could eat each one of those guys alive in that slot if you run correct plays. Because Smith is not that disciplined, so the screen game can be there for us. That play action game, we have a great play action game, even though we're not running the ball particularly well. When we run a play action, people come up. I don't know why, but it's happening. I guess Saquon Barkley still has that much respect across the league. when we run that play action to him because it opens things up.
Yep.
Another thing that's going to help against the Cowboys, DeMarcus Lawrence is not in there.
Yep.
And so Nate Solder doesn't have to go against DeMarcus Lawrence all night
You gotta go
and
Randy
allowing
Gregory.
him to get super pressure. But the crazy part about it is sometimes when Solder gets beat so bad so quickly, Daniel Jones turns it into a good play because now he can see it because he's not worried about his left side getting killed anymore.
Right.
And so he's breaking that pocket, making plays. I think Daniel Jones can have a damn good game running.
Well,
I think he can have about 60, 70 yards running against these guys.
He's having a good
120
season.
maybe.
we can hope. We can hope.
And now that we see that Daniel Jones
Elliott's
has,
going to cough a ball.
and now
Elliott's
that
going
they
to fumble
see,
one ball. Write it down. You write it down. Elliott's going to fumble a ball. He's due. I'm big on the due thing, Pat. That guy's due for a little.
yeah,
I coughed it up.
He's playing like old Zeke though, man. He's playing like
No,
old
he
Zeke
is.
right
He lost weight and he got in good shape this summer. I said that in August. I said Elliott don't have a stomach no more. He's gonna have a good year.
But the thing is, now that the team should know by now that Daniel Jones is a quarterback. He's not a gadget guy. You have to make gadget plays for him. All you got to do is protect him, and he can make plays for you. Now that we can bring in a normal offense and run RPO when we have to, like aggressive teams like the Washington football team. Yeah, you can install RPO plays against them to slow them down against the pass rush. Dallas is an aggressive team. You know Michael Parsons is coming in there. That's a dog. He's coming in there regardless. Run a couple of RPOs to get him off his game, make him choose between Barkley and Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
And see which one he's going to grab. He's athletic as hell, but he's not that athletic. He's not going to be able to get both of them.
I mean, Andrew Thomas is going to shut down Michael Parsons. I mean, I'm just being honest.
Shout out to Tudo.
Hey.
If you saw this morning, Rex Ryan on TV, he said he told the Cowboys to be warned because he said the Giants going to come up and give them a lot of problems next Sunday. That's Rex Ryan.
This team on offense should give every team in the league problems.
Right.
With the amount of weapons that we have, we should give every team defense in the league problems. I think now you might have to game plan for us. If they open up that playbook, it's not going to be as easy. And if you come out there with that same attitude, like, oh, this is the Giants, they're just gonna do stick routes right here. No, you should be getting burnt over the top now. Because those stick routes don't work. We are a vertical team, like people say. We're a vertical team. Like we have the weapons to go deep, and we have the quarterback that can throw it deep. So why not do it?
Just gonna say that, Pat. Was just gonna say that.
I believe it's an explosive offense.
Hey Nick,
Pat, I'm gonna go eat dinner, but I enjoyed talking to you guys, man. Let me know when the next stream is.
The next stream is gonna be Wednesday. I have Authentic on. Authentic is a special guest on Wednesday at 7.
That's what's up.
That's good. All right, we're watching that.
Yeah, we definitely.
Have a good evening.
All right, man.
Later, Miz.
And keep the stream going for a little bit more. Wasn't prepared to do this stream, but Miz forced me to get on, so I was like, okay, let's get on there. But man, y'all give me y'all perspectives on the Cowboys game. I've been talking about the Cowboys game a lot, so I want to hear you guys' perspectives. What do we need to do? Keys to victory, and what needs to happen for us to get that victory? So basically, same thing. Keys to victory.
What I said earlier, man, we got to stop the run and get them in second and long, and then that's when they start to throw the ball. If they get second and long, they drop that running game like a bad habit, and then they look to Dak to get them the first down so that they can run the ball again. First down, pick up 5, run the ball again, pick up 3. Then you got 3rd and 2. And that offense is geared for that because you can do anything on 3rd and 2. You can run a screen, you can run a draw, you can run a fake, you can run go routes, you can run anything. Because usually the quarterback is going to be rolling to the right or to the left and can get the first down if it's covered. We see that time and time again. Getting them in second and long to get them into 3rd and long, and then we're going to have to get the defense off the field. If if Dallas holds the ball for 30, 35 minutes, we ain't winning this game.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
They're even,
it's over with. If they
we can
hold the ball
split
for
the
30, 35
differential.
minutes, they're gonna put
Yeah.
up 30 to 35 points.
Right.
That's just
Right.
what it is.
And they use that ground game to chew that clock and keep your defense out there. I mean, that's what they do. And they like the short pass this year. Ever since Dak got hurt, Dak is finally starting to look comfortable in the pocket, but he's still not scrambling. He's still not running like he did when he got hurt. He doesn't want to do that anymore. So that's the thing, is you're going to have to get Dak mobile, because he's like Barkley was. Okay, when he first came back, that knee, he wasn't sure on it. Took hits, got better. Dak hasn't taken a hit on that foot.
Dak
He
hasn't
doesn't.
taken a hit almost all season.
Right.
To be honest
He
with
doesn't. He
you.
doesn't know how it's going to react. That's the key. We're going to have to keep him on the sidelines, keep the offense on the sidelines. And like you said, if we can get a turnover at their 40-yard line, 30-yard line, we can get a turnover. We're going to have to put points on the board, and it's got to be sevens.
Yep.
Yeah, because
Get them throwing the ball.
Go down there and put up field goals. That's all I ask.
Yeah, I was gonna
promise you
say
that.
we gotta get Galladay and Tony involved early. Get Saquon. We gotta get that machine running. And I really do think that if we can get Saquon out there and get him, going with the ball, we can create some holes for him. That's gonna open up this offense. That's gonna, not only that, but just having John Ross and Kadarius Toney on the field. That's gonna keep that defense honest. I don't think that they're gonna be able to really come in and blitz Daniel Jones as much as they would like. But I agree. We got to put points on the board, and I don't see a reason why we shouldn't. Going into this game, I didn't really see us putting a lot of points on the board just because Marshawn Lattimore is a stud. Malcolm Jenkins is still Malcolm Jenkins. Cameron Jordan is he's a monster. So is Demario Davis. But we were still able to really pick apart that secondary. I think that if we can continue to do that, and as well as keep Dak Prescott on the sideline, I think we have a chance. And really, we got to hit Dak Prescott. I think that if we can hit him early, get him off of his foot, and obviously stop Ezekiel Elliott, I think that we should be straight. But I think we all know that. It's just a matter of, can the Giants do it? And I think that they can. I really do think that they can. I think that if they can get this win, this is going to really energize this team and give them the confidence that they need, and believe in the coaching. You heard Saquon come out and say that recently, that, he feels that the players have to buy into, into the coaching, into the scheme. Media made a big deal out of that, but no, I really do think this team can be had. I'm not fully sold on Dallas. We all knew that they were going to be a high-powered offense. I don't think anybody questioned that, but I think they could be had.
I'm not sold on Dallas either, but our defense really needs to step up this week and show some serious improvement to win this game.
I'm gonna be real with you guys. First, I'm gonna get to Ethan. Shout out to Ethan being in the chat. He says, "I believe Azeez Ojulari is our franchise pass rusher, but we just need to give him some time to develop and learn."
Yeah.
That is true. I do believe he could develop it to be a really very, very, very good pass rusher. Now, we'll say this. We still need to get another very, very good pass rusher on the other end. I'm still waiting to see what we got with Ellerson Smith, because he got some Jason Taylor to his game. He has that Jason Taylor build, and he has speed, and he has those long arms, and he's stronger than he looks. So I'm waiting to see what he has, what we have with Ellerson Smith. But I'm telling you, if we're in a position to draft that guy from Florida State or Thibodeau next year,
I like that
you
kid.
can't pass on him. I don't care what Ellerson Smith shows you. I don't care what Ojulari shows you. If we could get one of them kids, this defense is on its way.
Ooh.
Because I've seen both of those kids. Those kids, that Jermaine Johnson dude, he's climbing up draft boards for a reason.
Yeah, I knew he would.
I don't see how that dude wasn't getting on the field out there in Georgia. I don't see how it was, but man, Florida State sucks, but he does.
Yeah, but he's good.
Yo,
he's good.
Keep
And
your
it's
eye.
possible.
But I want to ask you guys a serious question about this team's offense.
Sure.
Do you believe we should not abandon the run game, but make the passing game the focal point of this team?
No.
I would say 70% pass, 30% run. Would you rather see DJ dropping back 40 to 50 times a
No.
game?
No, I'm still the conventional. I want 50-50 ball. I
Give me
want
your
50, I
reason.
want
Give
50
me
pass plays. I want 50 run plays because the run game always keeps the defense honest. And you have to have that run game, even if it's not working, to use the play action. Because if you're only running into the ball 3 or 4 times, I mean, the Philly game yesterday is the perfect example. They didn't use they got away from the run completely. And Mahomes was able to just do his thing and build up a lead, and then they had to pass the ball. But when you've got that run game and you're committed to it, I mean, we're Giants fans. We're used to running the ball. Even if we can't run the ball, we always ran the ball. We might only get 2 or 3 yards, but that always gave Sims or Eli or Kerry Collins, it gave him that draw the linebackers out, and then he could get the ball over the top of the linebackers and pick up 10, 15 yards.
I'll say this, Joe. I'm with you, but are we a little bit too old in the tooth? I mean, I've watched the Giants since I was a little boy. You know,
No,
you're old school as well. Do you think we're a little too old school as an organization and we're not adapting?
I'm
no,
a
because I look at the Kansas City game last year, and Mahomes was dropping back every time. They weren't really running the ball, and that's why that rebuilt. They had all second string linemen in there, and they were getting destroyed. That wasn't the game plan against that Tampa Bay defense. That front four is stout. They tried to get fancy with the screens, and Mahomes is running for his life. And even if you're getting line of scrimmage, I mean, we always complained about Barkley, but it still draws the linebackers down. I'm still watching it to this day. I watch it how they fake the handoff. The linebackers have to hold for a second to make sure that running back doesn't have the ball, and then they can go into coverage. It's that half a second when you got burners like Tony and Ross. That just half second gives them time to get behind them.
Now, I want you to answer Max right here. He says, "But Joel, we've always done that as a franchise. Ideal is what keeps John Mara making terrible ownership decisions." So that's what I'm saying. Are we a little
Yeah.
too old
Pat.
school?
I,
You,
oh yeah. No, I'll let
I
you
was
do it.
going to say, are we a little too old school, or is our thinking past its prime? Like, because this is a passing league, it's an autobahn out there. We have the
Mm.
receivers to do an autobahn out there. Just to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
Should we consider it? Should we consider just giving the keys to Daniel Jones? Say, hey, kid, go out there and win it
No.
for us. Should
I
we
mean,
consider it?
I want me personally, like, I want to see Saquon get more. I want to see him use how the Saints use Kamara. Kamara not only is in the backfield, but he's involved heavy in the receiving aspect. So is Christian McCaffrey, and I don't see a reason why Saquon can't do that. We saw that just this past, literally just yesterday with the Saints. They were using him in the receiving game, and it really paid off. And honestly, I think that with the talent that Saquon has, if you're going to have that style of a running back, you got to use as much of him as you can. I mean, if you have a player like Zeke, then yeah, for sure, run first, no problem there. But with Saquon, he's so versatile. I don't want to see him just running the ball. So I have it at 60-40. I'm okay with having the Giants pass the ball a little bit more due to the fact that they have a wide range of weapons, including Saquon Barkley as well in the receiving game. But I agree with Joel that you should still run the ball. But right now we are headed towards a pass heavy league. But I do think that when it comes to playoffs, especially like winter football, you're gonna need that back that can really take over that game for you. And we have
Pat.
that.
Pat,
But
Daniel Jones passed for 40 times yesterday, and that's because we were behind most of the game. So we want to say, oh, he had 400 yards. It was great. We were down most of the game. I don't think there are going to be games where we're down and we can't catch up because the team is good and they know we're going to try to pass to catch up. So we gotta. I'm with Joel. We gotta stick to the run. Not necessarily because that's what we do, but just, I mean, you think about, and we are all saying, oh, we got to make Dak pass the ball. Why? Because we've seen him try to catch up and make mistakes. So we got to run the ball.
Okay, before you go, Joel, let me say this, and then I want you to piggyback off of it. We do know that Saquon Barkley is not a traditional running back. Let's just call it what it is. He's not a traditional running back. You don't line up Alvin Kamara and run him 30 times a game unless that team is just really just laying down for you. Why can't we use him in the Alvin Kamara role? He seems to be able to do that role very well. I don't believe we have the line to be a power running team the way we used to be. You know what I'm saying, Joe?
Right.
We don't have the offensive line to be like that. We don't have the running backs to be like that anymore. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? Like
Right.
back then, even though Amar Bradshaw was small, he played big.
Yes.
You understand? Derek
Yes.
Ward played big.
Mhm.
Even Tiki Barber played big. You know Brandon Jacobs was bringing it every time. You know
Man, he's
Brandon
big.
Jacobs, what he was bringing every time. You couldn't stop him because he
mean,
was that big.
Otis Anderson, Joe Morris. Yeah, they
Yeah,
were all the
Joe
same
Morris.
style.
Even
David
when we
Wilson.
tried to do it with Ron Dane, he was a big guy. We tried to run him. He just sucked.
Rodney Hampton,
Yeah, Rodney Hampton. That's what
Biaka
I'm saying.
Batuka.
Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
You know,
See what I'm saying?
look,
We can keep
I
naming
get it.
backs after backs after backs after backs that we can run a system like that. Is
I
that
get
the
it.
reason why we were getting our ass whooped in the beginning of the year? Because we were trying to run a power running game with Saquon Barkley, and that's just not his game.
Well, here, let me break it down a little bit more for you when I say 50-50. Usually the 15 or 20 plays of the game are scripted.
Right.
Okay.
First 10 to 15 plays are
Right.
usually always.
That's where I want the 50-50 because I want to see where the game's going and then play to the game. Don't play to your scheme. Don't play to what you want to do. Play what the game will let you do. And if that means Daniel Jones throws it for 45 times, then DJ throws it 45 times.
Mhm.
But if the game's going to allow you to run the ball 40 times, run the ball 40 times. So, it could be a 70% run, 30% pass game, which is what Judge said when he got hired. We're going to play to what the game lets us do. These defenses are built to stop passing. These guys are running around the field all the time. If you can establish any kind of run game, they get tired out. We see them with their hands on their hips and huffing and puffing and subbing guys in and out, trying to get them a break. I mean, when you get that defense tired, then when we go into the fourth quarter, you really drop the hammer and you're just pound, 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 pound. And these pass rushers hate getting pounded on. They do not want to be blocked. They want to go up against the tackle one-on-one and try to sack the quarterback and get their numbers and get their paycheck. If you take that away from them, I mean, we proved it. What was it, last year or the year before we played the Bears, and we were just running at Khalil Mack, and he couldn't stop it. He got tired. He doesn't want to get beat up on. He doesn't want to get double teamed.
It's a great point.
Well, Max is very interactive in the chat, so
Max.
this
He
will
always
probably
is.
be for you, Joe. Max
More
says
than likely.
300 passing yards is the standard for which a QB is measured to have a good day or not by metrics. DJ just had his first game over 300 yards since his rookie season yesterday, and we won. Okay.
Right.
And he says this also. Please read last comment. I like running the ball, but the league has changed in the last 20 years. How many games you see that both teams are under 10 points anymore? That happened quite a bit back then. It did. And he says
Yes.
also rules change. It's an offensive and passing friendly league. I guess he's stating that to you, Joe. So I'm gonna let you answer.
You know what? I said everything when I was talking about it. You know, you've got to play to what the game is allowing you to get.
Yeah.
And that includes going in at halftime and doing your upgrades and making your changes and, second half adjustments. I'm not saying that every game, every play, run, pass, run, pass, run, pass. I'm not saying that. I'm saying for the first 10 to 15 scripted plays. Because if you do that, they know that you're trying to run the ball. Okay. You want to run the ball. They're going to, that might be the thing that stops them and makes them put 7, 8 men in the box. Okay. Because they know you want to try to run. If we put 8 in the box, you can't run. You're going to have to throw. Well, okay, we got Galladay, Ross, and Tony and Shepard. Oh my God, they're blistering us now. We can't run 8 in the box anymore. So they run a 5-man front with 6 in the back. Okay, now you got a 5-man front. Hey, you know what? Run the ball. Get that defense tired. If you're going to get 6 yards of carry, 4 yards of carry, 5 yards of carry, run the ball. That's what I'm saying. I am no way, shape, or form saying abandon the pass or abandon the run. What I'm saying is you game plan, you start out that way, and then you let that defensive coordinator show you what he's doing. You make your adjustments off of that.
So basically, what you're saying is what Peyton Manning always did throughout his whole career.
Audible to the run.
Yep,
Call a pass
that
play.
stretch play. There was always a pass play called just about every play. But with that stretch play with Joseph Adai and Edgerrin James was so vicious because you knew if you put 8 in that box, Peyton Manning was going to air you out.
There you go.
And teams like that will always be dominant in this league. I just wanted to ask the question to see what my new school people thought about it, because the new school want to throw that thing up every single play, but it's always balance that's going to get you Super Bowls. Tom Brady and Tampa Bay, balance. Yep. The Chiefs are more balanced than you think. The Chiefs are more balanced than you think. It's just that Mahomes is just so incredible. He makes those crazy plays. You think they're just airing it out all game, every game. No. They actually hand that ball off to Williams when they see you pull your people back. And when you get that shotgun run, it gets about 15 yards because you're so far back, hoping that Tyreek Hill or Robinson or what's the other guy's name, man? It's so much speed on that Kelsey. It's so much speed on that field. It's ridiculous. So they can throw it a little bit more than what traditionally calls for. But a well-balanced team is one of the hardest teams to beat. That's what Dallas is and what they should be, but they tend to go off track and try to let Dak Prescott be Dan Marino sometimes, and that's when they get themselves in trouble. But Dallas could be one of the most balanced teams in this league by far.
I mean, the Kansas City drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire for a reason, and he's doing what he was drafted for. Run the ball.
Right. And see, I believe we could be a very balanced team in a way that the Saints are a balanced team. Alvin Kamara, yeah, he can run up the tackle, but they normally don't do that. They're bringing somebody like a Latavius Murray to come in there and bang up the middle for you, and then hit you with a screenplay with Alvin Kamara and let him just tear up your secondary.
I think that's why we got Booker.
Touchdowns. Yeah, that's why we got Booker, but Booker's not doing that. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Well, it's hard with an offensive line that's not blocking.
Exactly. So if we had an offensive line, I mean, just a half decent offensive line. Let's just say they play like they played against the Saints the rest of the year. I think we're going to be a major problem.
I do too.
Let's hope so, man.
I don't
There's
want it
no
to be
reason
all
why we shouldn't be a major problem if they play half decent like they did against the Saints. And if we had a Cowboys offensive line with Saquon Barkley back then, I don't think this team could be stopped like that.
Well,
you would have to play your ass off to stop us on offense if we had a line like that.
We got a couple first-round picks out. Well, we should have a couple first-round picks out there in a couple weeks.
Right now, our first 3 picks next year, I don't want to talk about the draft like it's over. Don't get me wrong, fans. I'm not talking like the season is over. But our top 3 picks next year should be right tackle, center, edge.
No corner?
Well, what about middle linebacker?
Middle linebacker you can get in the 3rd round of this draft coming up, because there's only one real good middle linebacker I see out of this class, and that's that guy from Utah. If you can get the guy from Utah in the 2nd round, he falls to the 2nd round, you take him. You get an edge, that middle linebacker, and the right tackle, because there's about 4 to 5 good right tackles in this draft too. I prefer Neal, but there's some other good right tackles in this draft coming up as well. And you got edge defenders everywhere.
Thomas. Oh my God.
We're not gonna get Neal. I'm sorry. The Jaguars are gonna get that top 3 pick, and they're gonna take him.
Yeah, they're gonna take him because they got their quarterback already.
I'm gonna tell you right now, they could take Thibodeau.
They're not taking Thibodeau.
If they don't draft the tackle, they're stupid.
Yeah, they
Because
are.
of the Bengals, we all expected the Bengals to drop a tackle. What happened?
The Bengals had a plan.
Yeah.
Bengals look like a team.
The
They
Bengals
need
have got a
defensive players,
plan.
but they look good.
And I hate to say it, I'll eat crow on
Well-
that. Jamar Chase was the right pick for them.
I'll
Yep.
tell
They
you
are
what.
I'll
killing.
eat crow on that
Panay
too.
Sewell's killing it though. Panay Sewell's looking good.
Burrow's a hell of a lot better quarterback than Lawrence. I'm sorry, but right now, even in college, he's
Give him
smoking.
time. Give him time.
Oh.
Trevor Lawrence needs more than 4 games.
You're gonna have to get rid of Urban Meyer before Lawrence does anything.
Oh, man.
Max,
He got
no, you
messed
don't
up.
ruin that. If Thomas is playing left tackle like an all pro, you don't move Thomas to the right tackle for Evan Neal. Evan Neal knows how to play right tackle, right guard, and left tackle.
We are not getting.
You move,
Evan
you
Neal.
bring in Evan Neal to be right tackle. It makes it even easier for him. Now you might have an all pro left tackle and an all pro right tackle because
Right.
Evan Neal right tackle is just going to be man, it's going to be too
Listen.
easy for him.
Listen, if Thomas goes through this season and only gives up 1 sack, I am not moving that freaking guy. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
You can't move him. Why would
No.
you do that to his
I
psyche?
think we're gonna get the center from Iowa, Tyler Linderbaum, and this kid out of Purdue, George Karlaftis. If you watch that guy, George Karlaftis, they triple team him. He's an edge rusher.
Yeah,
Triple-
George Karlaftis, man. You got Karlaftis, you got Jermaine Johnson, you got Thibodeau, you got the guy from Cincinnati, you got 2 guys from Georgia, you got the guy from Texas A&M, Leo, man. You got the guy from Michigan. That's
Edge rushers
baller.
galore.
Man, you got about 12 first-round worthy edge rushers coming into this draft coming up, and we got to get one of them.
We're gonna. And then we're gonna be
But
great.
I would prefer either Jermaine Johnson or Thibodeau. Hopefully the Bears will be that bad to where we could get one of them because I promise you, both those guys should go top 10.
Right.
Like, those guys are amazing, man.
Right.
And another sleeper, you can take the green tackle guy from. You can take Green, the offensive tackle from what's it?
Texas A&M.
Yeah,
He's
he's
good,
good.
man.
He's good too.
I
believe he could do what Slater does and a little bit better. But Evan Neal is just.
Yeah, he's a
I
different
know.
animal.
I know Evan Neal is gonna be good.
the
Well,
Lions.
I know he's gonna be
The
good.
Lions are gonna get the number 1 pick. They're gonna take Thibodeau, and then the Jaguars are gonna have number 2, and they're gonna take Neal.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm hoping the guy we just got, but after our bye week, he comes in and plays. I'd like to see what he
Ellerson?
does before I start looking at another tackle. I would really like to
Oh,
get some
Isaiah
game
Wilson.
time with him.
Oh, Isaiah Wilson.
If he
Yeah.
pans out, man, I mean,
He's
would
really
you
out
guys
of
still go
shape.
tackle? I'm not gonna lie.
I
would you guys
know.
still go tackle?
Let me answer Max real quick. If we drive Evan Neal's the right tackle. You keep Thomas at left tackle.
Oh my God.
You're not moving Thomas from left tackle. Have you seen the way he's been playing this year? If he continues to play that way, there's no way you can move him from left tackle. Evan Neal can play right tackle, right guard, left guard. Only thing I haven't seen him play is center.
And it
Other
doesn't
than
make
that,
sense
he
to
plays
put a
every
rookie.
other position very well.
We're
It
not
doesn't
even-
make sense
we're
to
not
put a
even getting him.
rookie out on the left tackle when you have an experienced left tackle. Like
We're not.
It
getting
is
him
2
anywhere.
months till our bye, so that's why I was saying, month and a half, 2 months. I mean, you can get into pretty good shape in 2 months.
Yeah, I
If you're
believe
trying.
he makes his debut after the bye. I
Right.
truly believe so.
At least the last 3 or 4 games. I mean, I'm not,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you say if we miss out on Neal and we draft center
Yeah.
and edge,
That's what we'll do.
the right tackle next year, it can't be Wilson. Wilson's not a tackle. He's a guard.
that would screw everything up.
Soda should be gone. Pert,
Dude,
I
Soda
don't
will
know.
be
He couldn't
Miz.
beat out Soda, so I don't
Miz,
know.
that kid could be the first pick off the board. That's the problem.
Evan, we're
Right.
not getting Evan Neal. Just straight up.
Either one of those guys could be the first pick off the board, Neal
Right.
or Thibodeau. We have to have the Bears, and the Bears got 2 wins already. So
Yeah, but their schedule is hard as hell. They're playing the AFC North and the NFC West like us last
man,
year.
they will have to damn near lose out and still might not get the number 1 pick.
Nagy just came out and said today that once Dalton's healthy, he's a starter.
Yeah,
You said once who's healthy, he's a starter.
Dalton.
Matt Nagy came out and said,
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
because that kid's not playing that well. Justin Fields is not playing that
He
well.
played well against the Lions yesterday, but what does that tell you?
You said Wilson was a
Well,
right tackle in college.
the
And,
Lions
hold
got
on.
down to the 3-yard line 4 times and couldn't put any points on the board.
That's disappointing, man. And they got Hawkinson. I wish we had Hawkinson. Oh my
Oh
god.
my goodness, we had Hawkins.
Hey, could we trade Evan Ingram and Peppers for him?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
not. You could argue he's a
Absolutely
top
not.
5 tight end in the league.
Shout out to Craig Mack in the chat. He said in the chat, he says
Yup.
KT had grown man looking foolish on the field. Yes, he
Right.
did.
Love it.
And that kid, Goldilocks over there in Jacksonville, he's not looking too good. Like he's looking bad.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, he's
He had a
looking
good game
bad
on
out
Thursday
there.
night. He had a good game. That was a good game he played. He'll
Like,
get there.
Like he's
Oh.
made some throws. You say you trade Ingram for a box of jelly donuts. I like
I'd trade Ingram for a Snickers bar because that way I'd be satisfied. You know, I'm not me when I'm hungry.
Hey, look, man. I will trade Evan Ingram to a team who feels they're a weapon away.
Right.
The Packers might be interested towards the midseason. The Chiefs might be interested towards midseason. They don't need draft picks. The Rams might be interested. They don't need draft picks.
You can. I think the Cardinals are a big option for it too.
Yeah, the Cardinals could be interested because
Seattle could be
they're
as well.
balling. Seattle could be balling at the time, so who knows?
It's just tricky because this is his last year. He's not locked in for a contract. So you're basically
That's what I'm saying. These are teams that feel they can win the Super Bowl this year.
I mean, I'm not taking a 4th-round pick for Evan Ingram because if we let him go and walk, we'll probably get a complimentary 3rd. I'm not getting rid of him unless it's a 3rd rounder at least.
I'll take a 3rd for him. What the hell?
It depends on the contract he signs in the offseason too. What amount?
Crazy,
what compensatory?
Right, but
pick
somebody's going to sign him for $10
I
million.
don't know. With $10 million? Evan
Yeah.
Ingram?
I
Watch.
want to pay.
It only takes one guy. It only takes one.
That's true.
It only takes one idiot.
I mean, come on now. Look at how much Washington the football team gave oh God.
Landon Collins.
Yeah, Landon Collins. And
Landon
then they
Collins
gave
was kinda bummed.
who's the lineman that liked to step on everyone's head?
Hainsworth.
Albert Hainsworth. Yeah.
Adam Archuleta. The list goes on. Adam
Right.
Archuleta. Deion Sanders at the time. Bruce Smith at the time.
Yeah.
They have a history of this, man. They have a history of doing that, overpaying for people.
Man.
He said we need Ingram to have a few decent games. We get a 3rd or a 4th.
Yeah.
If Ingram has a few decent games, we might get a few decent wins.
I don't want him
You
to
see
have
what
a
I'm
few
saying?
decent games.
And I can't get rid of him if he's the reason why we're winning.
Right.
I can't get rid of him.
Right.
I really
You
don't
see what
want
I'm
to trade
saying?
Peppers, man. I'm
I
gonna
will
just
trade
say,
him.
He said, "That's what I'm saying, Joe. Carry him, met him, walk him, get
And get a 3rd round comp. Yeah.
Same with Peppers. Yeah, I mean, we probably get 2 comp picks if we let Peppers and Ingram walk.
And why not? Use that draft capital to move up if we like somebody.
Well, I don't think that would hit this year. I think it would hit the following year.
Yeah, the following year.
So it'd be 2023.
I'm not opposed to trading those 2 3rd round picks to get back up high in the 2nd round too.
Well,
if we see a center or a right tackle that we like that's still there.
now here's the problem though, man. We need that depth. We're not going to have any cap money next year. We're not going to be able to bring in any free agents next year. You know, we're going to need guys that we can, get them in here, get them functional, and hope they're ready by week 8 or 9 because injuries happen.
Yes, they do.
If we can let them get onto the roster for 8 weeks, 9 weeks into the season, and then they go out and play, it's only better for them. But
shout out to Jeremiah Johnson in the chat. He says, "How about Trayvon Diggs for Dallas though? Y'all better know where he is at all time." I'm really not worried about the guy because he just got on the scene. I will say he is playing very well and he deserves his respect, but I'm not be like, "Oh my God,
Authentic.
Authentic, what's going on, bro?"
And I'm also actually not that scared this week for Cooper because Cooper's been playing through an injury. So
I'm not scared of CD Lamb.
Authentic says, look at the Rams as
Yeah.
a model of building outside the draft. That's
Oh,
true.
okay, Authentic. Didn't we try that with a defense? We brought in
Look.
3 players. I mean, we didn't give up draft capital, but we tried to buy a defense.
They also drafted Aaron Donald. Let's not act
Shout
like they
out
have some
to-
talent before they
shout
did all
out-
that.
Shout out to Oja baby. He says, as a diehard Giants fan, Daniel Jones as a horrible future. Giants have been losing games this year and this
All
year's
right.
past due to him. Well, Oja, actually, the only game we won was because of him. So,
That's right.
and the only reason why we was in the Washington game was because of him, and the only reason why
I'm not
we
even
should have
looking
won the
at the
Falcons
future.
game was because of him.
I'm looking at this year, not the future right now. This is this season.
I'm thinking
But
about
let's have a little bit more faith in our quarterback, man. I believe he's shown what he can do. You give
Yeah.
a man some time, you get that man an offense that he can run, and you give him confidence in going out there and running the offense. You give him an offensive line, and he can do things like he did this past week. Just be honest with you, Daniel Jones is not the problem. He's actually one of the solutions.
Yeah.
Oh,
gotta have faith, man.
So I'd rather have Daniel Jones than a lot of quarterbacks in this league. I'll tell you that.
More than Drew Lock.
100%.
Yeah, my brother, he's a Broncos fan. He said the same thing about
Drew Lock
Daniel
is
Jones.
terrible.
I
Yeah,
told
Drew
him
Lock
if
is
Daniel
trash.
Jones was on the Denver Broncos, y'all could compete with the Chiefs right now.
Yeah, that's
Facts.
Big fans.
In Patrick Shermer's system and giving that kid the keys to the reins of y'all offense, go ahead and put Drew Lock in there. You saw what happened when Drew Lock came in there against the Ravens, right?
I like the
When
Broncos a lot.
Bridgewater
Their team
went
is
down.
great.
You don't think the Saints offense will be much better with Daniel Jones over Jameis Winston right now? I love Jameis Winston. But that kid Daniel Jones over there with that Saints offense, it'll be a whole lot better. I promise you that.
Broncos are a quarterback away though,
Well,
for real, man.
Everybody wanted us to take Dwayne Haskins.
Oh man, you don't hear about him anymore, or that stupid ass opinion. Oh, Dwayne Haskins is better than
He
Daniel Jones.
he also says Giants need to hope Bears get on a bad stretch and get the number
They
one
will.
overall pick so Giants could get
let me-
somebody to replace
let me
Jones.
read-
oh my god.
No, we get the number one pick. I believe we take Evan Neal or Thibodeau, and I wouldn't be
Right.
mad at either one of those picks.
Let
Right.
me,
Me possibly, it depends on what I see out of the offensive line and the defensive line. And I pick whichever one I feel needs the most help. And to
Let
be
me-
honest with you, I wouldn't be mad if they took Neal over Thibodeau.
Yep,
I wouldn't
that's
be
what I was-
mad.
I would
I was
agree.
gonna say
I-
that too.
Here's the Bears schedule. Ready for this? Starting this week: Raiders, Packers, Bucks, 49ers, Steelers, Ravens. I don't think they win any of those games.
Jesus Christ.
And then
Maybe the
Say those teams
Steelers.
again. Good.
The Steelers, they
Right,
can beat
ready?
the Steelers. That's the only
Raiders.
thing I can see them
Maybe,
beating.
maybe
the
the
Raiders.
Steelers.
Raiders, Packers, Bucks, 49ers, Steelers, Ravens.
They could
Yo,
get
let
the
me tell you
Steelers.
something. Whoever
They
gave
could
them
get the
that schedule,
Steelers, and they'll give the Raiders a battle.
That's one game out of 6.
Yeah.
Jesus.
God
Bad.
bless them, bro.
That's bad.
And really, to be honest with you, they could have lost to the Lions. If the Lions, they keep turning the ball over when they got in their red zone.
They also have to play the Cardinals at one point in the season, the Packers again, the Vikings, the Seahawks, us, and the Vikings again.
Jesus Christ.
Bad
man.
news.
Oh
Ooh.
man, we got Miz and Oja going at it. He said Miz told him, he said, "Go with the dumbbell. You sound soft." And Oja said, "What do you mean? I go to the gym."
Buffet.
You go to the buffet every day. Oh my God, Miz.
Hey man, I don't. Hey
Oh.
Oja, you're more than welcome, but you're gonna be wrong on the Daniel Jones conversation. If you look at this team the way you say you're New York forever, you'll see that Daniel Jones is not the problem. So I mean you're wrong on that one. I like to hear your other opinions, but that
Well-
Daniel Jones one, you're not gonna get any love on that opinion because Daniel Jones is not the problem. I'll be
The only
honest
thing,
with you.
the only thing we're missing that Dak has right now is an offensive line, and hopefully, if we can fix that next year, there's not going to. The only difference between the Giants and Dallas is going to be the quarterbacks, and then we're
Need a
going to
edge
see the men are the men and the boys are the boys. Dak's had 5 years with a great offensive line, great weapons, and a great running game. How many playoff games have they won?
Not many.
I don't think they've won one. Or
They
have they
haven't
Right.
won one in 15
There
years.
you go. Okay, you know what? If he's that good and that team's that great, they should be running deep into the playoffs. Not happening.
Only way DJ is not the quarterback of the New York Giants last year. I mean, next year is that's right.
Yep.
GM firing and they hire Lewis Riddick. They
Unless,
hire Lewis Riddick. Riddick is going to trade him.
Oh
Because
my
he does
God!
not
Please don't
like
get
it.
Riddick.
but hold
Yeah,
on.
he
You
does
think
not like
Mara?
Daniel Jones at all.
It's gonna be conditional. Mara is gonna say, "I'm hiring you, but you're not
At
getting
7, Miz.
Nate, Rick's got a point.
conditional."
Yeah,
You said
I'll
what?
conditionally hire you. You have to keep Jones. Yeah, I could see that going down.
Yeah, and who's going to come?
All right. I'm sure that there'd be
If Daniel
somebody.
But
Jones,
if I'm a GM and I'm looking at Jones right now, I'm keeping him. You don't
Yeah,
have to
that's what
tell
I'm
me
saying.
to keep Jones.
Yep.
He's giving me
There with you.
enough. He's showing me enough that he could be a franchise quarterback.
he's tough.
What I will make a condition is you get me an offensive line,
Right.
and I'm firing my scouts who's scouting these damn people that Dave Gettleman's getting.
Mm,
You see what I'm saying?
yes.
Because if you get Daniel Jones an offensive line, man, I think the sky's the limit with this kid. This kid is unique, man. Like his skill
Well,
set is unique, man.
well,
And
whoever's going to be the GM, I kind of hope they look at Jay Gruden as a head coach to replace Judge, because you know that if you're going to blow it up, blow it all up.
Blow it
I'll
up.
say this. I'll say this here, Oja. I'll put the stream in the chat. If you want to come on and state your opinion, you're more than welcome. I don't
Oh,
think
man.
we're trying to be annoying either. I think you might just feel that way. So I want you to come on and explain to us why you feel Daniel Jones is nowhere near the answer. Because everybody has the right to their opinion. Now,
Right.
if you were a troll, I know what a troll is. I just think you really feel that way.
I get it, authentic. I don't want it blown up either.
Yeah,
But,
you
you
don't
know, if
blow
you're
it.
going to do it right.
Well, I
Authentic.
mean,
What
by
up?
blowing it up. So you mean if we fire Gettleman, you want Joe Judge fired and Garrett
I'm
and
I'm
Patrick
And
Graham
Pat
fired?
Yes,
Graham,
I'm
Dean
sorry,
Thomas,
Pat,
Gahey.
because I am tired of we've done this. We did it with Reese. I mean, we've never done this before. You know, the only thing
We've
we
never
did is we
had to do
went
this
from
before.
Ernie Accorsi to Jerry Reese. We went from who was the coach in the 90s
Jim
or
Fossil.
2000? Who?
Jim Fossil.
Yeah, Jim Fossil. And then we went to my God, I got coaching dilemma
Coughlin.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we went to
we did go
Coughlin.
right to Coughlin, right?
Yeah, we went to
And
Carlson.
then the only thing we did is Accorsi got us Eli, and then Accorsi left and just hired his own guy inside, which was Reese, which blew everything up. So, and then Mara went back and got Gettleman, who was involved, who was in the office at that time with
That's
that
right.
group.
Mhm.
So if you're going to get rid of Gettleman, you get rid of Judge, get rid of the whole coaching staff. I don't want to see a repeat of the Reese, Coughlin, McAdoo, Shermer, Judge again. I just don't want to see that.
Yeah.
But can we just go back to the offensive line? We got to give Rob Sale some credit, bro. Rob Sale's
Yes.
doing a great job with the
Yep.
Oh
offensive
yeah,
line.
Gotta
Robert
give Joe
Sales done
credit,
one hell
man.
of a job.
I agree.
Just imagine
I
what he could do.
agree,
if he
Miz.
had-
I love Gettleman.
Love is a powerful word, man.
I love Gettleman.
There you go, man.
I will say this, Miz. He says Judge ain't going nowhere, and if we put up a season with Grove Gettleman, we'll be back for one final year. I do believe that as well.
Amen.
Growth has to be a playoff. Has to be a playoff berth. That's what growth is to me. What I believe this team is, because you didn't bring in all these free agents just to be like, oh, we were a half decent team. We were 500. Growth has to be a playoff berth.
I'll tell you what, Pat, double-digit wins would be growth. 10, 11 wins. Even if we don't make a playoff, I'll take 11 wins and no playoff.
That's not going to happen, though.
I know,
Like-
but you know, we have seen teams that have won 12 or 13 games before. I mean, they added the extra slot. I get it. But we have seen teams where they went 11 and 12 wins and didn't make the playoffs. It can happen, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, That's true. Get to what Max says as well. He says Garrett gone no matter the outcome of the season. Good season, head coach hired for him. Bad season equal fired. I do believe so. If he has a good season, if he's ready to take on another coaching job, he's going to leave unless the Mariners open up that checkbook for him underneath the table and make him a very very happy man financially. I believe that's the only way he stays. But you might be right on that, Max. Miz says 8-9, no playoff, keeps Gettleman around. I don't know. I don't know. That's going to be very hard to tell. Maybe not. He says stick to road. No need to change the offense on Jones again, bro. That's true again.
That's very true.
But maybe if Garrett leaves, Callaway comes in and he runs the system basically the same, except opens it up just a tad bit more. So they probably already got somebody on deck if that happens.
You mind if I
Oja
ask y'all
says,
something?
I'm an actual Giants fan, just in case anybody thinks I'm joking. I go to the games in MetLife. I'm quite sure you do, Oja. It's just that you have an unpopular opinion about Daniel Jones, which many people do.
Right.
You might listen to the media about Daniel Jones, and you haven't got off that trail that he's a turnover machine, he sucks, he's a fumble machine. Look at that guy's work over the last half of last year and this year. The guy's on pace to throw damn near 5,000 yards if he continues on the pace that he's going right now. At least 42 to 4,500 yards with an offensive line that, let's call it what it is shit at times.
Yep.
That man has never had a decent offensive line. He just got weapons. He had a coordinator that really didn't believe in him. His coordinator just now opening up the playbook for him. And you see what he's doing behind a makeshift offensive line that's playing half decent. So imagine if we get an offensive line that we know when we step on the field, our offensive line is good. When he can step in that huddle and know that he doesn't have to run for his life when Soda gives up a quick edge rush almost every other play. When he can go there and know that I can stand in his pocket and be strong. Do you know the amount of pressure that puts on the team if we had a good offensive line right now? Because you can't run man to man. Because you run man to man all game, he could take off with his legs. Even if you're good enough to run man to man to cover all our people, he could take off with his legs.
Right.
And then if you run a man to man like that, some plays a linebacker is going to be on Saquon Barkley. You really want a linebacker on Saquon Barkley on a wheel route? I don't think you want man to man in the middle of the field with Kadarius Toney where you can run those slant routes like that. If you run zone, he's good enough now that he's reading the field. He's good enough to carve you up in his zone. And guess what? That opens up the running game with Saquon Barkley having big holes going up. You definitely don't want Saquon Barkley going up big holes on you.
That's why you go with what the game plan gives you. That's what if the game gives you a running game, you run the ball. If it gives you a passing game, you pass the ball.
Exactly. So imagine if you have a good offensive line where we can dictate to the defense what we want to do to you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why I would take Evan Neal over Thibodeau. I'm saying that right now. If the Bears somehow messed up and got the number 1 pick or the number 2 pick, and we messed up and got a number 1 and number 2 pick because we were that terrible, I would take Evan Neal over Thibodeau.
If we had the number 1 pick, Pat, I would listen to offers. I would not do what we did with Barkley and just nope, that's it. I would listen to offers.
So you would trade down and miss out on Thibodeau or Evan Neal.
You know what? This class is deep in edge rushers, yes?
Yeah, it's deep in edge rushers, but there's no more Evan Neal.
Not offensive linemen.
Okay, I get that. But if somebody wants to jump up there and give us 3 number 1s.
I mean, depends on what position
look,
they're in.
If we get something
to get a quarterback, so it depends on what position they're in.
Bro, it only takes one guy, man. That's just it. It takes one guy. I mean, look at how many people wanted us to trade up and get Haskins. I don't
want that at all.
I look, I'm just saying, I would listen to offers. I'm not saying I would take one.
Okay.
But if I could trade back down to 4, and still get. All right, I'm not going to get the lineman, but I'm going to get one of those top edge rushers, the top 3. Okay, that fills a need still. And now I have 3 first-round. I get 2 first-round picks for the next 3 years. Okay, you know, I'm just saying. Every year there's a guy. Every year there's a player. Every year there's.
That sounds tempting, but man, I can't miss out on
it's
Evan
hard.
Neal.
I'm telling you, I would seriously trade out of the first. For
It
3
depends on where
ones.
they are. It depends on where they are. If I'm trading down to like the 5th, 6th pick, and there's still a chance I could get Neal, I'll do it. But
Or
I know
Green.
Evan Neal is either going 1 or 2.
Well,
If Linderbaum's going to be there, I would trade down to get. I'll get a
here's the
center
thing.
there.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Okay, we holler at our coaches and our GMs for not being forward thinkers, and yet you guys are stuck on one guy.
I've been on this guy.
Look,
for
I'm
a
just
year.
playing devil's advocate.
This one guy is special.
I'm just
He's
playing
going
devil's
to-
advocate.
Everybody knows what this one guy is.
It's like the Quinn
And-
Nelson situation. It's like at one
Oh,
offensive
okay,
lineman.
well, last year instead of having Tony, we could have Slater. Okay, look at how it worked out.
I mean, it is what it is.
Look, I get it. I get it. I really do. But sometimes you just got to bring up different stuff, and it's like,
Yeah.
I
As long
got
as
to
you bring
think
up
about
different
this.
scenario. But let's get to this authentic comment. He says,
Yep.
if Daniel Jones keeps playing like he did yesterday, Garrett will be around until he's ready to go. I think the fan base is more concerned about firing Garrett than the organization, and that is true.
Yes.
Yep.
If
I
this
think-
offense is playing this way, Garrett has to have some ordeal or something to have to do with it. He's opened up the offense. You got to give him his due. You bash him when he does wrong. You got to give him credit when he does good.
I will admit I was hollering at Garrett, but it was the same stuff week after week after week. It was the same routes week after week after week. It was the same game plan. It just got to the point where change had to be made. And you know what? If he did listen to us and he finally said, "Okay, here's your change," you know what? If that worked, great. I'll apologize to Garrett. I love his game plan the last 2 games. I love how he's opened up the offense finally. And if we continue to see this open up, I'll tell you what, hire Garrett back. Give him another 2-3 year contract.
I just think he's too inconsistent. Like,
You know what? I don't care. I'm seeing results now.
You're
I'm
right.
seeing
I'm seeing
results from
legit
my
results.
quarterback. I'm seeing results from my offensive line. I'm seeing results from my whole team because they're rallying around the one guy that does have control of the offense, and that's my quarterback. He hasn't quit. He's been balling out. Everyone else picked up off of that, and I think that's when everyone started showing heart in the second half of yesterday.
Authentic got a lot of things in here. He says, we don't win that game without 26 on Sunday. That is true.
Right?
And he says, I don't care where someone is drafted. Once you're in the league, it's all about who can ball out. Very true.
Yep.
He says, Tony is clearly a talent unlike any other in the NFL, and he is just getting started. Yes, he is a talent. I watched him at Florida. The guy's a talent. And it seems like he's gotten faster since he's made it to the league. That guy comes off the ball with extreme burst. You can see it. It's different. It's different. It just is. He also says Daniel Jones has a rating of 90 plus for 4 weeks in a row. Garrett didn't change anything, just like Judge talked about.
I tell you, it looks different to me. Them routes look different.
Shout out to Tudo. He says Authentic is one of the very few who really know the sport of football and know what he's talking about. Most Giants live shows are Fugazi opinions, good for nothing, and have no clues and never held the ball. I mean, that's not here though, man. I really enjoy the game. I really study the game as well. I believe Joe studies the game. Miz does. Authentic damn sure does. I mean, so not here though, man.
Miz has it playing in the background.
Yeah.
Now wait a minute. Where's the clown with the devil sign? Barney, come in here. Stop hiding inside the box, talking nonsense, man.
I believe he's long gone, Miz. He's long gone, man.
Tell me he go to the game every week. I seen him cutting the grass. That's what he does. Give me the nonsense about Daniel Jones.
But I mean, he's one of those Twitter fans. Twitter still is bashing Daniel Jones. I just talked to my brother 2 seconds ago. Belgium, he said Danny Jones is trash. My other cousin Chewy said he's trash. I was like, you're basing it off what you saw in his rookie year, and he was getting killed by the offensive line. You give Daniel Jones an
Yeah,
offensive line that's half decent, and you're seeing the results. You're seeing
and
the
they will,
results.
and they will.
And I agree with Authentic's last statement too. A lot of that was on players. A lot of that was on execution. But I watched the film too, Authentic, and like I said, I'm just it appears right now that I'm seeing more deeper routes than the curls in the short stuff. I mean, even Daniel's stats are showing that he's throwing the ball. He completed 8 passes of 10 plus yards. That's not a curl route, my guy. That's a different
No,
that's a seam route or a slant. If he's doing that type of stuff or a stop and go or
people hate on Daniel Jones around the country, man. People
I've
it's
been
gonna eat them up so bad when this guy is at the top of the league and he's headed there,
Yes,
and it
sir.
bothers people. And people not watching him every week. They watching him 2 years ago, and then they watch the media. Guys like Maxwell who want to take shots at the Giants. That's all nice and dandy, but it's gonna bother. It's gonna bother a lot of people when Jones is one of the best QBs in the league, and he ain't far away.
Max.
He ain't far off. He really ain't. He's getting there. He's marching towards it.
He says the Ingram sweep over and over from the 5-yard line is a play. Is the bad play call when it hasn't worked
Yeah.
on 10 attempts has it. It's a mixture of everything, guys. I'm gonna just be real with you. Sometimes there is bad play calling in the red zone, and sometimes it just comes down to just people not executing.
Right.
And that's why
Yeah.
you're a bad team the way we're a bad team.
Well,
That's why we
people
we
gotta
didn't look
remember,
like we
Pat.
looked last week.
This is not a good O line. They're doing a good job with it, but it's not a good O line. So people gotta remember that.
We all know that. So if you know you don't have a good offensive line, why are you running jet sweeps with your tight end? If you know your offensive line is not that great, I'd rather us take chances with Barkley and shove it up the middle like we did on that last play in overtime than do jet sweeps with Evan Ingram, who's liable to fumble
Right.
at any given time.
I don't even mind the jet
Third and
sweeps.
8.
It's
Oh
just
yeah,
more
the
of
third and 8 played to
why isn't it
Shepard.
Kadarius
Hey,
Toney
can y'all
and
tell
why
the
isn't it
way?
John Ross?
That was a slant.
Can y'all tell the way Miz is chewing that guy really got under his skin?
Yeah, he did, man. He did, man. I thought he was coming on, so I came back.
I remember that play, Authentic, and that's where Daniel threw behind Shepard just a little bit and why it was incomplete. Shepard went 7 yards and the route called for 8.
Hey,
You
this is
won't
why
see
I
that
can't
play
wait to the
anymore.
show. This is why I can't wait to the show with Authentic because we have a lot to talk about when he does come onto the show Wednesday. Hopefully, you guys are able to tune in.
I will
He
be
says
here.
curl route is the rumor people always say. What was the route against Washington that Daniel missed on 3rd and 7 to Shepard? It was a slant. The bomb to Slayton, a 9 route.
Yep.
I will say this: the route to Shepard, he definitely missed because if he puts that ball in front of him, that's a first down. And I will say this: the bomb to Slayton, that's not all on Daniel Jones, but quarterbacks in this league, top quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, just pops it up to him and lets him run underneath it and gets a pillow layup touchdown right there. I believe he tried to be too perfect on that play, and they just missed.
Well, according to Kurt Warner and a couple other in the analysis, they said that he should have ran more toward the post instead of into the center of the field, and it would have been easier for him to get vision on the ball and make the catch. So
I believe. Go ahead, Joe.
They were just saying that he ran the route not as tight or in the proper angle of what he should have. He rounded it into the center of the field, which made the catch difficult. I'm just repeating what I was told. I kind of saw it when I was watching it replay, and how they were talking about it.
He says, man, Authentic come with the heat, man. He says the reverse is Garrett's one blemish, and the 16 red zone attempts, that is the one that was on Garrett. He also says, and I tell you why he did the jet sweep to Ingram's head, to get Ingram's head back in the game and get the fans off his back, build his confidence. That's true, but sometimes you got to know when to cut loose. Sometimes you got to know when to cut loose. Every time we feature Evan Ingram in the offense, something stupid happens. Every time we feature him in the offense, because people know when he gets in the game, that's where we're going to, and that hurts. He says football is a team sport. Everything has to click. Momentum. That is true. All right, Max is in the chat now. We're getting into it now.
Oh
Max says,
man.
at Authentic, if his plan is to build Evan Ingram's confidence, then run a play with him that's had success, not the damn jet sweep that has never worked. Authentic says the ball was on the outside shoulder. He misjudged it. Got to catch it. Who's he talking about?
That
I don't
was
think
me
I
when
don't
I
think
was
you're going to see that
discussing
play
the
anymore.
Slayton 9 route,
Okay.
and it went off his fingertips.
Yeah, he misjudged it. He said we've seen Evan Ingram score on that play before. Yes, we have. He says Jaden the Champ says why Kyle Rudolph running slants in end zone, but not Galladay, Ross, and Tony. That was stupid. And Authentic is true to his word. He said he didn't like that call either. Jaden says Evan Ingram drops and fumbles everything.
Yeah, I think Ingram fumbled on a jet sweep, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He
I
said
don't mind that. I don't mind that jet sweep, but maybe we should try it at midfield and not on the 5-yard line. You know.
That
I
was
don't
He
mind
said
the
Max
jet
Webster,
sweep.
you're wrong on that. Go look at Evan Ingram's highlights is in there. He did score. He
Look,
said, "Oh, here's your boy." He says, "I
oh,
have
he's
to
back.
go. There's a fire in my area. I hope you're okay, bro."
Yeah, I hope you're okay too.
Yeah. I'm hope you're okay too. Go. There's a circus in your area. You got to go to it.
He said a screen to Rudolph. Come on now. I mean, that's a good play, but Rudolph, he might be the wrong guy. Rudolph can't move. He said Jaden the Champ. Authentic says that Jaden the Champ matchup is why they threw the play to Rudolph. But on that play, matchup was good, but you don't run a slant when you know that guy's a snail. I would rather you throw a deep fade and let Rudolph go up and grab it.
That's what he said. Is he played basketball in high school? The guy can high point any. You high point the ball to him, he's gonna get it.
Who's that? Who? Galladay?
Huh?
Who Galladay?
No, I'm talking about when Rudolph
Rudolph.
was in the end zone when we couldn't score on that first drive when we not the first drive, but the when it was 14-10 and Rudolph caught that pass, get to the 4-yard line, and then we couldn't score a touchdown, we had to kick a field goal. Or when it was 14-7, and then that made it 14-10. And we threw that slant to Kyle Rudolph and Lattimore damn near undercut it. Max Webster said another bad play call from Garrett. I'm not blaming Garrett as the problem, but he's not just had one blemish in calling the sweeps.
Yeah,
He does. Listen, man. Garrett does. Every time we have a nice drive, he does call one bad play that takes us backwards, like out of the 10. You know, every single game this year, there's been one of those. You know, that killed the early drive in the game.
Right.
I'm not mad at the guy. He had a good game yesterday, but I'm just saying there's been some questionable calls. Like this Ingram sweep, man, we don't need it no more. Stop. He's not fast enough for it, to be honest.
Authentic says football is about matchups. Sometimes fans think every player has to maximize the amount of yards they are going for. Sometimes teams are expecting everything, we are too. So coaches switch it up. That matchup wasn't a bad matchup, Authentic. I just didn't like the route. I would rather him be on the fade route and let him go up there and try to get it, because he's not going to beat you with finesse. Rudolph is not going to beat you with finesse. If not, you have to throw it to where he can use his body to box somebody out if you throw that slant route. He threw that route like it was Kadarius Toney or somebody, and that's just not going to happen.
And that's what I've been talking about the whole stream, Authentic, is matchups and mismatches and why we still need to run the ball, because, Pat brought up are we too old school because we want a 50-50 max, of run pass. And I'm like, well, in the scripted plays, I agree with that. We should have a 50-50 mix. And that way that the defense knows or thinks you're trying to run the ball. And you set them up. That's where you get your mismatches. Because if you can run the ball, you keep running the ball until they stop it. And then that brings 8 into the box. And then we get one-on-one coverage. And that way the coordinators can do their thing and do their job. And that seems like it's what the Giants are getting back into now. I mean, we saw them still trying to run the ball, and everyone was like, why are we running the ball with Barkley? And it's like, well, you got to keep running the ball. You got to keep drawing them linebackers down, because when the RPO or you know the fake handoff. You run the option, the fake handoff, whatever. You drop back, and the linebackers have drawn down a little bit, and you got that half step, and then you can go behind them.
Right. Well, Authentic and Max are still going at it. Wish they was on the channel, but I'll keep reading your chats because this is a good battle. He says you also have to focus what happens in the trenches when those plays fail. The reverse pass failed versus Saints, but didn't lose yards. Nobody was too upset. That is true. That is true. That's another critique of Jones. In the red zone, he's throwing 90 mile per hour darts, but guys like Rudolph and Gallo, they throw it higher and softer and let them go get it. That's true as well. The one time we did throw a layup to Galladay towards the end zone, we got a pass interference. We got on the 1 yard line, and Saquon Barkley punched it in. Yeah. I do believe you have to give those guys a little bit more chances when we get to the red zone like that, because for some reason, like I said, moving the ball between the 20s, we have no issue whatsoever between the 20s. It's when we get close to scoring, that's where we have our issues. That's where we have our mental lapses. That's where we have our bad play calls sometimes. That's where we're not optimizing our talent the way we should be. There's no reason why you shouldn't take a shot to the end zone with Galladay every time you get down there.
But to be fair, I mean, Daniel Jones has never had a wide receiver like Galladay. He does it. This is a learning experience for him, too, to figure out where Galladay wants the ball, how he likes the ball, how to float the ball. Has he ever really had anyone to throw the ball to like that? Because whenever he tried to put it up soft, it get intercepted or incomplete.
Closest thing he had to it was Golden Tate. Tate made some plays for him.
He did, but you can go back on them film, and sometimes that ball was a little bit behind because he was trying to float it.
I agree with Authentic. It's going to get better as the year goes on. Each game is going to get better.
Yep.
Right.
Hopefully, Scar can turn out to be the left guard that we need. I do believe we should not bring Bredesen back in at left guard. We should leave Max Scurra there. And I believe we should bring in Harrison at center. We need to get him ready because Billy Price, man, I just don't like him. Man.
I don't either. I hope we're seeing chemistry, and I hope we're seeing it getting built, and I hope these guys are starting to mesh together. I mean, we've been seeing improvement from week 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and I'm not like I said coming into this stream. We won. I'm happy we won. I'm celebrating the win, but the Giants aren't off the hook because that first 3 weeks that was just hot garbage. It was a mess. I didn't like seeing that. I mean, I like the play calling in the third game, but the defense just, again, to me, they didn't show up. And this time, the fourth quarter, they did show up. So they started to, gel and click and make plays and tackle. And that's the next thing I want to see next week is I want to see crisp tackling. I want to see guys that are, fundamentally sound at staying home because Cowboys like to run misdirection plays.
Right.
They like to run the short stuff. That's their bread and butter. I want to see improvements in those areas. We had 3 penalties last week. This week, I don't want to see more than 2. That's something that should always be improved on.
No, you're going to see more than 2. That's not realistic, Joe.
It might not be realistic, but as
a
teacher to a student, as a head coach to a player, that's something that should be said. But maybe I'm too old school about that.
No, it's not that. It's that we're be in Dallas in a very loud, hostile place, Go ahead,
I want to see 2 game-changing penalties, like the penalties we always get that stop us from getting points. I don't want to see 2 or more of those type penalties.
Oh, you don't want to see that? Then tell the referee stop throwing the bullshit flags, man, because that's what they be throwing at us when we're down in Dallas.
But it's not all bullshit, though, man.
It's not all bullshit. You're right. I agree with you. It's not. But there's been enough of them that are very questionable. There's been enough of them, man.
Yeah. Now,
and you go against Dallas Cowboys, America's team, and if you don't believe that shit,
you're going to get some calls against you out there. I mean, you got to be prepared for that. We're gonna
have to survive the storm. It's gonna be loud there. It's gonna be nuts. We're gonna have to survive that first quarter. If we can get past that first quarter without getting blown out, you know what I mean?
Right.
And you know what? I'm glad that we're going into this game with everybody thinking Dallas is gonna just run over the New York Giants, and it's gonna be, such a a disadvantage towards the New York Giants. I want that. I don't want the media talking about the Giants right now,
Yeah.
even though they should be. But nah, let us go in there, keep our heads down, do what we got to do, let our game speak for ourselves.
Yeah, like I said earlier, this is to what Authentic was saying. If we get an early lead in Dallas, we got a hell of a chance to win that game
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
because it's going to surprise them. They're not going to expect us to come out there and be a good team. They're going to expect us to do something stupid every drive. We stop doing something stupid on every drive to hurt ourselves. These teams are going to be like, "Oh shit, we're really going to have to play these guys now."
Somebody
Because
better
now
take
we're
care
not
of
going to
you.
be saved by them, and they're going to start getting touchdowns instead of field goals. So what we got to do, and that's when the confusion starts to come in.
Yep.
When you open up that playbook. So yeah, we jump up on Dallas early, we got a hell of a chance to win, man. We do.
Damn right.
I'm gonna tell you another thing. Don't be surprised. There's a trick in this game, like it was last year with that fake field goal.
Oh, that was a beautiful play.
Yeah, so
That
I'm not
was a
saying it might
that
not be the
was a good
same
play.
play, but they might be working on something sneaky. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That was a good play. Unfortunately, they called that BS and then brought it back. And we seem to get a lot of those.
That's
And
what
we
I
see
mean,
a lot
man.
of
Bullshit
touchdowns taken
flag.
away from us.
Yeah. And then you're gonna see a play where Galladay goes deep and the guy holds his arm down, and the entire country could see it except for the ref that's standing 3 feet away.
Make it make sense.
That's what I mean, and that's the only thing. Hey, it is what it is. We got to play through it. That's all.
All right, man. But I'm gonna wrap this up in a little bit. I want all you guys' final thoughts. Max, Authentic, y'all type yours in the chat if you want to. I'll read them for you. But I'm gonna start with Joel, man. Y'all give me your final thoughts, man, and thank you for always giving me support, man. You guys
Oh,
always show out for me, man. It's crazy.
man, thanks for having me on. I love talking football with you guys. I mean, we all
Yeah.
get the passion, the fire, and we're gonna be right in butt heads no matter what. I love it. This is great.
You
I
guys
love
make it
this.
fun, for real.
The,
You guys
the
make it
chat
fun.
gets going into it. I mean, it
Right.
does. It just makes my day.
It's
That we got
hilarious.
people. Well, first off, man, the people that are watching. Thanks for joining in and watching, us four nutballs go at it and argue and fight. And you can see some of us have already pulled our hair out of our head, the bottom guy there. you know, I mean, this is great. I mean, we have a wonderful Giants community. Authentic in the Beard, they make great shows. Authentic, he
Oh yeah.
produces music. He has some beats out there, man. People need to check out. Tudo's always in here supporting us. King Tone's in here. Jaden the Champ. We have some young YouTubers that are up and coming, and they really know their football. I am proud associated with this community. This is phenomenal stuff. As far as the game, I'm going to say what I said in the beginning. We have to stop the run, and we have to get them in second and long and third and long, and then get off the field. This is a game where our defense really needs to shine and really needs to show up and eliminate the stupid penalties. And in our offense, it's the red zone mistakes. We got to be more crisp. That's something the judge really needs to, harp on these guys now and maybe do some more red zone practicing. Get these guys used to these situations, get them in there, blast some music, make it loud, get them confused, make them ask questions. You're a coach. You said you're a teacher. Teach these guys how not to make mistakes and not how not to lose a game. That's about all I got for that.
All right, Miz, what you got for me?
No, that's it, man. This is a fun, good time. I called Pat in the afternoon. I said, let's do this stream right here because I
Right.
wanted to just talk because we finally win. So whatever, let's get on and have a little fun for once. But no, everything's good. I like to spice it up and go after somebody who acts stupid. But I take it personal. I'll be honest because here's my thing. I really love what I'm seeing in Daniel Jones. I love it, man. I'm a big on quarterbacks. Like you guys know, I played quarterback, so I study that. And
Yes.
Jones has all the tools and the makings and the physical ability to be, I don't want to call him a great quarterback, but he could be a real good quarterback for a lot of years in this league.
Yes.
You just got a taste of it yesterday. The way he was winging the ball all over the place. Those passes were so accurate. That's what impressed me. He was hitting receivers on the fly, and I enjoyed it. Okay?
Yes.
And he stood in there, and he wasn't scared, and he's worked his butt off to clean up the fumbling and the intos. And you know what? I see a real deal QB. And like I said, if that's all we get out of this season is we don't got to waste our picks on another quarterback, I think we set up for the future. And I'm happy with that.
I agree.
Yeah, I
Good
agree
last
100%, Miz. I mean, look, first off, shout out Big Pat. You know, you always set up a wonderful show, man. You guys make it fun to talk. I love when Miz be going after people. It really makes my night. You know, and they they don't be showing up. So I think, you know, they know what Miz really be on. So, but now, look, when I look at this team, man, I mean, I figured there was going to be some growing pains, but the talent is here, man. The talent is here. I got to give a big shout out to Rob Sale because this offensive line is looking nice.
Good point.
Andrew Thomas is looking like an all-pro left tackle in his second year. And hopefully we can get something straight out with Isaiah Wilson. But if I'm the New York Giants, man, you got to go out there and punch the Dallas Cowboys in the nose. I want to
Yeah.
see this team go out there and just score on the first drive. I don't want to see us, you know, be conservative. You know, a lot of people, including the Dallas Cowboys, think that they're just gonna bully their way through the division. But where I come from, bullies get bullied. You know,
Right.
I want the New York Giants to really go in there with their heads down, handle their business because look, they don't got an easy schedule coming up. But I think that this team, with the weapons that we have, like Big Pat said, it's going to be hard to stop us if this team can really get things clicking. I mean, the talent is here, man. The talent
Yes.
is here, and I'm really excited for Daniel Jones. A lot of people had questions for him, which I understood, but he's looking like that guy, man. He's really looking like that guy, and man, I'm excited. I'm really excited. I want Dallas. I wish he was playing tomorrow, but oh, one more thing too. I really want to see at some point this season Quincy Roche get on the field, man. I really want to see him get
I will
involved.
tell you this. He has been on the field.
Really?
Yes, he has been on the field. I've seen Raymond Johnson on the field as well. Shout out to Joe, who always on commentary every Sunday. They have been on the field. I just don't think they're using them correctly, if you
I
understand what I mean.
noticed. That's no, yeah, 100%.
But
Because
they
I haven't
have been
even
on the
noticed.
field. They have been on the field. I say they get. It's not like how you want them on the field, but they're getting about 20 to 25 snaps. I see it. Where we don't run stunts. We don't run.
2 minutes.
It's straightforward defense with us, and we don't have a straightforward defensive team. We're not like the Ravens, who were straightforward with Ray Lewis and them, and even when they did stunts and everything with Terrell Suggs and them. Even when they had Jamie Sharper and Peter Burwell, they did stunts and things like that. Remember, Rex Ryan was a coordinator back then, so you know they were doing different stuff. So that's why we're not getting any pressure on the defensive side because we don't have any elements to our game. If you see that we're struggling, if you see that your edge rushers are struggling to get to the quarterback, no matter what you do, you see that they don't have major pass rush moves and they're not making impact when they come off the edge. Only one I gets a little bit of impact is Ojulari, but that damn the X-Man and Lorenzo Carter, they're not getting any impact at all. Why are you not running stunts? Why are you not running different type blitzes? Why are you not running mid-zone blitzes and have somebody back off into a zone so if he tries to do a quick hot route, you might get an interception if they're confused. If you get enough pressure, it's a sack. Why is Jabril Peppers coming from the same spot every time he blitzes? Why not bring Jabril Peppers right up the middle and let him use that speed to get past the guard who's not prepared for a delayed blitz? You see what I'm saying? So we're not doing it as a team on defense, and that's why we're suffering as far as pass rush. Because last year, just like everybody said, the only difference is Dalvin Tomlinson. And I know Dalvin Tomlinson was a huge part, but man, it can't be that huge.
Right.
You can't no pass rush no more, and you can't stop the run no more. We got to stop putting out our trust to people like Danny Shelton. I'm sorry, he's not getting it done.
Yep.
He's not getting it done. Those downs that you bringing him in there to be a run clog on first down, guess what? We're giving up an average of 5 to 6 yards a play. I see it. I call the game every Sunday. We see it. is not working. Stop putting him in there. He doesn't hustle, and he's not moving nobody, and he's not moving. So guess what? It's not working. Stop letting Reggie Ragland be in there on third downs when you know there's a passing down. And you know he can't run to chase anybody. He looks like a damn defensive lineman running out there. Good on first down or the for the run, but after that, get him out of there. Get Carter Coughlin in there. As a matter of fact, I want to see Carter Coughlin come off the edge because I know that guy's gonna give it his everything when you get to put him on the edge.
Right.
He's not just gonna get blocked and just give up and just stand there and like our guys get blocked and stand there. They don't even put their hands up. At least put your hands up to try to tip something. You got those long ass arms, Carter. So say if you blitz him up the middle and he gets stonewalled, but he jumps up and blocks the pass, and you might be able to tip it to get an interception. You never know. Dexter Lawrence, I need him to see him playing nose tackle more. I need him to take over that role Dalvin Tomlinson left. I'll be honest with you. I need him to play that role there. Because he doesn't have the freedom to play the other defensive end role anymore because Dalvin Tomlinson is gone. Or if not, keep Austin Johnson in there. Stop bringing in that Shelton.
Hey, honey.
I hear you.
That's what I need you to do. Stop putting players in positions you know that they can't do anything.
Thank you.
Like, seriously, you know Lorenzo Carter is not a good edge rusher. You know Zimenez is not a good edge rusher. Bring in some other people. You're going to have to see what you got.
Thank you.
Because I'll tell you what, they're not that great at stopping the run either.
Well,
No, they're not.
So why do we have them out there being in prominent roles? I don't understand that. And as far as the defense goes, offensive-wise, just continue to open up that playbook, and let's keep progressing. Let's everybody get in and get into one accord, and let's dominate. The offense, I'm not too worried about going forward. Only thing I'm worried about is the offensive line. What game are they going to give up the farm? If they do. Hopefully they don't, because if they don't, Daniel Jones is going to have an awesome year. But the defense is what I'm worried about, and that's not what we came in the season supposed to be worrying about, was the defense.
Well, if you could highlight Max's last comment for me. He's going to tell us why we don't stunt. That worked really good for Alvin Kamara, gashed us for 129 yards or whatever it was, because every time I called the game, he got the ball, he would get first at 9 yards, 8 yards, 7 yards, 8 yards, 9 yards.
I'm talking about on obvious passing situations.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but Max is saying why we don't stunt. And because our D is predicated on stopping the run, when you run stunts, you lose gap discipline, hence causing running lanes. It's about the defensive identity. Okay. Well, if we're not going to stunt, how about maybe if we're worried about the run, maybe do a run blitz? I haven't seen that.
Do something. Shout out to OJ. He says his house is getting destroyed right now. Hey, bro, if you're dead serious, man, I'm praying for you. Hopefully everything works out for you. So hopefully you're not playing, because that's serious.
All right.
Hopefully you're not playing. Man. And if you are serious, man, get your family out of there the best way you can, and just pray about it, and everything will work out for you, bro. Yeah, man. But, man, it's been almost 3 hours. I didn't know I was going to be on here 3 hours. Talking to you crazy guys.
Oh, my goodness. 5 hours yesterday, 3 hours today. Miss, come back.
Right. Next,
see her with us.
Next stream will be Wednesday at 7.
I'll be there.
Everybody, hopefully you be there. Shout out to Max. I ain't seen you in a while. Thank you for tuning in. Glad you're okay. I ain't seen one of your interviews in a while either, man. I've been waiting to see who you get on next.
Well, Max just bought a house, so he is in the middle of moving everything around. Congratulations on that, Max. I hope everything's well for you.
Yeah, I hope everything's well. That's decent, man. That's nice. Congrats on your house, bro. Shout out to Tudo, always giving support. He's in every Giant stream, so every Giant stream you go to, you know Tudo's gonna be there with a couple of jokes. King Tone, you're a regular now. Thank you for coming in, bro. Authentic, if you're still here, can't wait to do a show with you Wednesday.
It's gonna be.
Thank you, Authentic. Looking forward to Wednesday.
You're one of my motivational figures when it comes to doing this. I watched your show a couple of times. I was like, that's dope. Let me do this. Who else is in here? Champ, you know you're a regular. You always come through. Coach Dante, he's a regular. Reek is a regular. You know, I got a lot of regulars on this show now, man. That's pretty
Yes.
cool.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, shout out to Oja, man. Like I said, you came in a little wrong, but man, hopefully everything works out for you, man. Like I said, I'm really praying for you.
Got that
Shout
right.
out, shout out to Joseph that comes in all the time. Hey, I saw Benny today. Benny's actually still doing his show too. Remember little Benny, little redhead kid?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Benny's still doing his show too, man. I want him to come in for a show as well. Zion, Miz, G
Lou.
Nation,
Didn't see
everybody. Yep, everybody. So thank you guys for making this show one of the giant shows people come to now, and I'm very proud of that. And I'm gonna continue to give you guys great content, and I'm gonna continue to come up with ways to get everybody else involved as well. So
Oh,
go
yeah.
sub up to Hit Squad Productions. He's a regular here. Want to see you more on the
Appreciate it.
show when you can, bro. Go
Yes,
shout out
sir.
to Classified Joe. Go sub up to those channels. Authentics. Everybody that channel that's in here has everybody that's in the chat has a channel in here. So need you guys to go sub up to him if you're not subbed up to him already.
Yes,
And
sir.
man, get ready to end the stream. Y'all have a blessed
Yes.
day, man. Did
For
not
sure.
know I was gonna be on here 3 hours.
Hey,
Ooh.
man, get that
See,
rest, man. You deserve it.